north of Nashville are shut down, one at 256 and the other one at 76 in Clarksville. Not sure exactly what's going on there. And Donaldson got an injury crash, Briley Parkway southbound at Elm Hill Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome in, one and all. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day. Happy Thursday. July 23rd in the year of our Lord 2026. We've got lots to get into today. I am excited about it. I hope you are as well. We've got 4 full hours to cover a variety of topics. We'll go all across the local area here in Middle Tennessee, all across the great volunteer state, through these United States of America, nay, the globe. We've got a lot to deal with and a lot to discuss, and I hope that you're here for every moment of it. But if you give us 4 hours or 5 minutes, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And do me a favor, if you're listening on a digital platform of some kind, maybe it's Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, maybe it's our own app, Supertalk 99.7 WTN, where the audio content is fresh and the schedule and the rest of it not so much, but we're working on it. Talk TV is also available. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, all of that's fresh. Give us the old like, subscribe, thumbs up, whatever you do to say that you appreciate the digital content. We do appreciate you doing that. And I thank you so much for listening on the radio dial as well at 99.7 WTN. It is day 549 of Donald Trump's second term as president of the United States of America. That's out of 1,460.5. It is also day 1,081 of our visits together, and I've enjoyed almost every single one of them. Jackson Williams is behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as humanly possible. We appreciate Jackson very much. I don't appreciate what you did on the audio video slide for Talk TV. I don't appreciate it at all. You know what you did, and I don't appreciate it, Jackson. And
Ken,
I'm just
you don't want to know what I did?
Hey, Ken Weaver's also behind the glass. Behind the glass, he gathers headlines for a living, delivers them twice an hour when it breaks. Hello, Ken Weaver.
How about you boys?
Ken Weaver, before you tell us the gasoline prices.
Yes, sir.
How much is it costing to like and subscribe the old Murphy show on Supertalk 99.7 WTN?
Absolutely nothing, boys. Yeah.
So that's like no money out of your pocket, so you can save up for the gasoline.
That's right.
Which you just said is going to be up to, according to certain authorities and certain experts, $5.50 a gallon.
Well, Gas Buddies Patrick DeHaan predicts that in the next within days, the national average could top $5.60.
That's no good.
We're at $3.75 per gallon right now here in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, I paid. I had to stop by Sam's Club real quick, and I've learned not to go to the Sam's Club in Cool Springs because they charge more for their gas than any other Sam's Club around.
Really?
100%, really.
Well, I'll be.
The Sam's Club gas. Y'all tell me if I'm crazy. Did I just hit them on the wrong day? Because Sam's Club gasoline is the same price as gasoline at any other gas station in Franklin. But then I went to Antioch, and Sam's Club gas in Antioch was, I want to say it was $3.39 a gallon, Ken.
Nice.
Which is good. Because I paid a couple of days ago, I was in Columbia, and I paid $3.79 a gallon. And I fill my stupid gas tank up in that big old truck with the bad tint on it, the illegal tint on it, way too much. By the way, I'm not talking about tint today.
Okay.
But can I just say this? It's not legal for police officer vehicles to ride around with their front glass tinted the way that it is, according to the law. And I want to know why police officers are allowed to have illegal tint on their front window. I'm talking about their driver's door window and their passenger door window when I'm not allowed to do that. I want to know why that's permissible. And I did a deep dive. According to the law, it is not legal for, and y'all LEOs that listen to the show, I love you, I appreciate you, and I will respect your anonymity, but explain it to me. Explain it to me why the LEOs around this state get to have illegal tint on their front door window and their passenger door window, and I'm not allowed to have the same level of tint. Why? What possible rationale can there be? Because what I'm told is that my tint has to stay below a certain level. What? Because of the safety, the health and safety of other drivers around me, or the health and safety of the officer. And if it's a health and safety issue for the other drivers, I don't know why the police are allowed to do it. And oh, by the way, the law, just go look it up because I did, 55-9-107, does not exclude front and passenger door windows from the exemption. There is an exemption for commercial vehicles, for emergency vehicles, and for police officer vehicles, but it does not exempt the front doors. But they do it because they're the cops and they can get away with it. They're the government, and the rules don't apply to the government in the same fashion that they apply to you. Anyway, but I'm not Jackson.
Yes.
Jay Willie. Y2J.
Huh?
I'm not talking about 10 today.
Really? You just did for 8 minutes?
I did not. I did not. I was talking about police and policing and proper police procedure.
Ken, you want to hear what I did to him on Talk TV?
I was talking about the law.
Yes, sir. Let's hear that, Brother Jackson.
So we're talking about a little bit of the fairgrounds today, right, Ken?
Oh, yes.
We are. Mm-hmm. Dishonesty at the fairgrounds.
And so I decided the background needed a little NASCAR flair.
Okay.
And so I put Denny Hamlin in the front.
What? That doesn't even make any sense.
Leading a NASCAR race in the background. Right behind Matt's head.
Denny Hamlin is just... He's the bane of my existence. He's like my personal Skeletor. I'm He-Man, and Denny Hamlin is Skeletor. That means that Jackson's the thing that I ride, that little cat, and that makes Ken that little fella with the little floating fella. Y'all know who I'm talking about? That's you, Ken. You're the little floating fella. He's like a little magician.
I'm a little fella, only smaller.
I don't really remember He-Man. I never watched He-Man.
They had a little floating fella?
I think there was a little floating fella. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but man, oh man, in my memory, there's He-Man and there's that big old cat, that's Jackson, and there's Skeletor, that's Denny Hamlin, and then there was a little floating fella.
They have beard?
I don't know. You couldn't really see his face, Kim.
All right, I'm going to look it up.
He-Man sidekick is the way to go.
He-Man little fella sidekick.
Let's see what happens. While we remind you that you can call in the radio show, 615-737-9986. I love taking telephone calls. It's my favorite thing we do every day. We got a lot of issues to discuss. Apparently, Ken has found an image of his liking. And give us a call or give us a super text, 615-737-9986. Was I right, Ken?
Yeah, but he doesn't have a beard.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Well, you do. You do.
He's got horns.
Does he?
And only 4 fingers.
Well, see, okay, those two things track then, so...
What's the cat look like, Ken?
Well, I'm not seeing a cat.
Was it his Thundercat? What do you call it?
Well, let me look that up.
Oh, people are telling me the name of this dude. His name is Orko. O-R-K-O. He knew He-Man's secret identity. Well, that's you, Ken. You know what I do secretly when I'm not on the radio. Battle Cat. It was, look up He-Man Battle Cat,
Yeah,
Jackson.
Battle Cat.
Battle Cat.
Yeah, his apparently, before he turned into Battle Cat, his name was Cringer.
Okay.
He was cowardly.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
And then He-Man turned him into Battle Cat.
Yeah, so in when He-Man was just
this fella's got some gravitas.
I like how Jackson wasn't going to participate in the bit until he realized that I was doing him a solid, naming him Battle Cat. Like he was worried that he was walking into something. Like he's going to be some little. No, I'm not going to do it.
He's got some gravitas.
You think you're funny?
I'm telling you, man, we need to put that Southern Michael Jackson on a hot key. When he did that,
we do not.
When he did that the other day.
Yo, did you do any of that online?
No.
On air? You didn't do your Michael Jackson on air?
I did the hee-hee at the very end of the show.
Oh. You could take that to Zanies.
Oh.
You could take Southern Michael Jackson.
Oh, my gosh.
Talking from the great beyond about his experience at... What'd you say? You were at Fantasyland, and then you said you were at Neverland. Wait, you got it wrong.
I called it Graceland.
Oh, yeah, you said you're at Graceland. I'm sorry. It's never. And then we went to places where we're not allowed to go. Anyway, I'm not thinking of the Little Martian on the Flintstones. I remember the Little Martian on the Flintstones. That was the little green fella. That's what we called them, dum-dums.
Little fella on He-Man.
No, you got it right. It's Orko.
It was Orko. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, there was also that little, remember the Flintstones? The Flintstones kind of jumped the shark. And they suddenly, that little alien showed up. I forget what his name was. He was a little green fella with a big head.
On the Flintstones?
Yes. You don't remember this?
I don't remember that.
Oh, man. I remember being 8 years old, sitting in front of my television watching the Flintstones on TBS and being absolutely disgusted. I knew what jumping the shark was before they even called it jumping the shark, because that's what they did on the Flintstones when they brought the Great Gazoo.
Yeah,
it was Happy
Gazoo.
Days.
Had a big old fat head.
Well, I understand Happy Days was jumping the shark. I'm saying I understood jumping the shark before Happy Days. Did I not say Happy Days?
No, you said the Flintstones.
Well, the Flintstones jumped the shark with the Great Gazoo. Or kazoo.
Basically, these people writing these cartoons were eating gummies. Every one of them.
Yeah. That's probably true. They were smoking or drinking something, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, just imagine being in that board meeting. Hey, fellas, the ratings are in, and listen, we've done just about everything we can with Fred and Barney. I'm with you, Fred. Bonnie. How many times can they scheme, right?
Right.
I thought we were going to the hospital to visit Mr. Slate, Fred. No, Bonnie, we're not going to the hospital. We're going to the bowling alley. You
talk about when they pick their car up and run?
Oh, I was thinking of when Fred bowled. He was a little twinkle toes. He's like,
yeah, I remember that.
So you can only do so many of those shows. By the way, Jackson, have you seen the Flintstones?
I saw the live action, both movies, the Flintstones and the Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas.
Well, I can't ask you the question I was going to ask you because it becomes a live action testimony as to who you think's more attractive in terms of the actresses.
I saw these when I was like 7 or 8. I don't remember.
I always had a thing for Wilma.
Yeah, Wilma.
Well, I mean,
both of them. Wilma, what was the other one's name?
Betty.
Yeah, Betty.
Mm-hmm. Betty Rubble.
They're both pretty hot.
Wilma Flintstone. Dino was the pet dinosaur. And what was there? There was Pebbles.
Yeah, little baby Pebbles.
And Bam Bam.
And Bam Bam. Yeah.
Because they were on the Fruity Pebbles.
They were on the Fruity Pebbles.
And the Cocoa Pebbles.
And that is our trip down memory lane concerning 1960s and 1980s cartoons on the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk 99.7 WT.
Those live action movies came out, I think, in the 90s.
Are you interested at all in that live action He-Man? I hear it's good.
I heard it's solid.
I'm not looking for reviews for the thing. I happened upon a couple of them that said that it was a solid flick. fun for the whole family.
Well,
It's one of those you catch when it comes out to streaming.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not woke or anything.
You never know at this day and age because some people are screaming about the Odyssey being woke, Ken, and then other people are saying, no, it's just there was some casting choices, but the rest of the movie is solid. It's fabulous. You need to go see it on 70 millimeter IMAX. Don't we have one of those? We're one of the 41. Opry Mills is 70 mil. So we should go experience that this weekend.
See, you got to ask Brother
Yeah,
Chris Hand.
you go try to get a ticket for this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Brother Chris Hand, he'll find out if something's woke. Brother Chris
true.
Hand he's got a meter for it.
What do you think they're doing over there in the Hand household?
Staying away from stuff that's woke, I guarantee it.
Playing twiddly sticks.
He's over there playing baseball.
Well, baseball's not woke. I don't guess.
Not yet.
I mean, maybe MLB, but Hand and I did the podcast along with Dan Mandis today, and we were discussing something that Hand has made a focus of his show over the last several days, I guess, or maybe it's over a series of weeks.
Yeah.
And that is something that we've not talked very much about on the Matt Murphy Show, and it is, quote-unquote, flock cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Flock being the brand name of these surveillance-style cameras.
Yeah, Brother Hand's all over it.
I got a few thoughts about Flock. I've got a few thoughts about what we are willing to do in the balance of security versus freedom. We're going to discuss that. I've got an update on the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, at least some of the dishonesty that's going on. I am not going to talk about tent today, but Al is on the line, and he wants to talk about tent today. And so who am I to tell the callers what to call about on the radio show? It's not like it's mine or anything. It's 22 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Glock store. Have you been? Have you stopped by? Have you said hello? Have you seen the incredible Glock store? If not, why not? What are you waiting on? The Glock store is the place to go for all things Glocks, all things accessories, all things accoutrement, if you will. Anything that you need for your Glock, whether it's a magazine, customization, or whatnot, you can find at the Glock store. And, we've been telling you about this great event that's coming up early next month. Sadly, for those of you that waited on tickets, I told you that the tickets to the Glock Store VIP event Friday, August 7th would sell out, and they have sold out. There's going to be a lot of fun will be had over there. But here's the deal. I've got that to tell you about. That's a little salt into the wound, but here's the honey. There's a big O-Site Day happening the next day, Saturday, August 8th. It's you don't have to be ticketed to come to this event. 9A to 6P, hands-on range time with the new O-Site optics, in-store discounts on O-Site optics, great raffle giveaways so you can win something if you stop by, free O-Site swag while supplies last, and food trucks will be on site and ready to go. I'm thinking about stopping by. You should as well. Always something going on at the Glock store, and they've got a big-time event Saturday, August 8th. So if you missed out on the August 7th VIP Glock store event, never fear. Saturday, August 8th is there for you. It's the Glock store, minutes away from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, online at glockstore.com.
A new outbreak of explosive diarrhea is coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I've made an executive decision. Ken Weaver is no longer Orko.
Rats, wasn't he magic?
He did have magic, Ken, but I think you're going to like the switch. Ken, I think you're more of a King Randor.
King Randor?
Yeah, King Randor, King Randor. And the reason I say this, Ken, number one, he gets to wear a crown, which is pretty cool.
Does he get fed grapes and fanned with big leaves?
Oh, he's a king.
Is Denny Hamlin still Skeletor?
I don't know. I think we're moving beyond the Denny Hamlin as Skeletor narrative now, because if Ken's going to be King Randor and you're still Battle Cat, I think y'all just looked at the image. I mean, is this too easy? Is it low-hanging fruit for me to tell you that Orko is more of a Dan Mandis type character? He's a little fella.
So who's Skeletor? It's got to be Denny Hamlin.
It's either Denny Hamlin or Hand.
I like Denny Hamlin.
Okay.
And Battle Cat's going to help Denny Hamlin.
I mean, does that mean that Joan Jones is She-Ra? See, I never watched the show. I'm just looking at a list of characters, so I'm just kind of lost. I remember the show was on. You know, I never did He-Man, and I'm right there in that age zone. I'm 52 years old. Most of you can identify. Never did He-Man. Never did Transformers.
What about Power Rangers?
Never did Power Rangers. Never did any of that crap. When I was growing up,
We just had radio and horse and buggies.
yeah, you can say that. When I was growing up, for some reason, I had an odd youth. While everyone else was experiencing whatever was out, I was going back and experiencing the things that were out before. So, I mean, with TBS and everything, it was easy to do. So I was watching the Flintstones. I was watching the Jetsons.
What was out before you?
I was watching Rocky and Bullwinkle. I was watching the old school stuff. And yes, I know that the Great Kazoo was on the Jetsons and then he flipped over. It was like a crossover move. But enough about Denny Hamlin. Crossover move. So while everybody else was listening to like whatever they were listening to in 1988, Duran Duran or whatever the hell it was, I was listening to the Beatles. I don't know. So
you were one of those.
I feel like I missed it. I kind of experienced it, but I feel like I missed a lot of it. Like
I had action figures, like I had the Marvel comic book action figures. That's what I was into.
Yeah.
And then I had Big Josh and Big Jim.
Who's that?
And what was cool about them is they came with a van, and you could pull their arms up and their muscles would grow. And you could put them in a frog suit, make them swim in the bathtub, stuff like that. They had guns and
Holy
stuff like that.
Big Jim. I'm looking at Big
Jim. Yeah, look at Big Jim in his van.
Wow, Big Jim. Big Jim came in nothing but drawers, Ken. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, he didn't wear a shirt a lot of times.
Well, I'm just looking. All he's got is some shorts on, and look at Big Josh.
Big Josh.
Big.
And then I had a $6 million man. You could look through the back of his head through his bionic eye.
Was this just a toy line? Was this a cartoon or what?
No, it was a toy line. It wasn't a cartoon.
Oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that.
Oh yeah, Big Josh is he's got some cut off blue jeans and boots on with a denim vest.
Yeah, and one of them knew kung fu.
Well, it says here that Big Josh, he's got an axe and he's got a little.
Yeah,
he can chop with that axe.
Yeah, he was chopping wood and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, really, anything you wanted him to do, he could take care of it for you.
They had kung fu grip.
Look at this, the Big Jim All-Star Series from 1972 to 1975.
What do you think about that?
The Big Jim toy line. There was a Big Jim's team consisted of. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Big Jack.
I didn't have Big Jack.
Big Josh.
I had Big Josh.
Big Jeff.
Didn't have Big Jeff.
And then, of course, Big Jim. Two additional characters, Chief Tanua. Wait, no. Am I saying that right? Ken, you're the official pronunciator of the Matt Murphy Show. Tancua.
Tancua, Tancua.
Tancua and Dr. Steele.
Dr. Steele. I didn't have Dr. Steele.
You need to get with it. These look great, Ken. I like that.
It was fun, man.
Back to more realistic content. So away from the Big Jim conversation, I do need to do this. I'm going to get to actual stuff that you need to know about on the show. We will get back to cartoons maybe later on in the broadcast. It is a Thursday edition. We're going to talk about Nashville Fairgrounds in just a moment. There's some dishonesty that's running around town, and you need to know about it. And I need my field producers to get on top of it. I'm going to ask of you to do so. Coming up next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Well, a new outbreak of cyclosporiasis under investigation by federal health officials. The FDA reporting 72 illnesses tied to this new outbreak. Investigators working to trace the source of it. They've not yet identified the product involved. This latest outbreak suggests that health authorities still trying to identify all sources contributing to this year's unusually large cyclospora season. President Trump expanding a voluntary pledge designed to keep AI-driven data center growth from raising utility bills for consumers. The agreement encourages companies building and operating new data centers to pay the additional power costs they create.
You know, you're going to be building your own data centers, and you're going to building your own electric plants. You're essentially becoming a utility like Con Edison in New York, but maybe at a level that nobody's ever seen before, because we've seen some of the plants that they're building are absolutely incredible.
White House officials say nearly 200 additional stakeholders have joined the effort. The administration says the expanded pledge now covers about 80% of electricity delivered to U.S. homes and businesses. And the U.S. Senate today blocked a resolution that would have limited President Trump's ability to continue military operations on Iran without congressional authorization. Earlier in the day, the House approved a separate war powers resolution after 4 Republicans sided with Democrats. They were Thomas Massey, Brian Fitzpatrick, Warren Davidson, and Tom Barrett. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, let's check 24 westbound up to Clarksville. I mean, it is a parking lot for 2 reasons. You've got 2 closures, 24 westbound. The first one is at Maxey Road. Then the second one is going to be there at 76, Highway 76 there in Clarksville. Checking for crashes here. I see one at Bell Road and Benzing Road, Gallatin Pike, south of Cahall Avenue, and Donaldson, an injury wreck, Briley Parkway southbound before Elm Hill Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
I love our audience, man. They're accusing Ken of being a rich kid because he can afford Big Jim. Like, man, Ken, we couldn't afford Big Jim and Big Josh.
Because I had, not only did I have Big Jim, but I had Big Josh and I had Big Jim's van.
You had his van? Somebody said they still had his camper.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I know. Man, you can't hide money out there in Oklahoma, boys. Grace Point Healthcare, affordable, convenient. If you spent way too much money on big gym toys back in the day, you need affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine delivered the old-fashioned way, and that's what they do at Grace Point Healthcare. They are a direct pay primary care provider, which means that all the treatment decisions made between you and the folks of Grace Point are between, well, you and the folks of Grace Point. The insurance company doesn't get a say in all of this. Basic Smart Care plan is just $99 a month for the grown-ups, $79 for the kids. And don't worry, because you can pay for this through your HSA accounts. Thank you to the big, beautiful bill. And when you do, you're covered for the entire year. You can go as many times as you need for your basic office appointments and your free labs and basic diagnostics as well. Grace Point treats the entire body. That's important to me. They get to the root cause of the problem. They don't just throw money and time at the symptoms of the problem, and that matters in terms of your overall wellness. 599-6868. Wouldn't recommend anyone else. 599-6868. Call and schedule your appointment today for Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Super Talk 99.7 WTN flock camera conversation on the way. And I know Hand has talked about this quite a bit on the Chris Hand Show, and I've enjoyed several of those conversations. And I became involved in one of them as I was driving in today in preparation for the podcast. That will drop Saturday morning, mostly peaceful. Want to be a part of that? Flock cameras on the docket. And it's on the docket for the Matt Murphy Show today. We'll also catch you up with where we are in the governor's race and all of the other races. And if you have any questions about anything happening in terms of the primary, now's your time. Open book from now until August 6th. Just call us. Open phone lines, I should say, not open book. 615-737-9986. Give us a call, and I'd love to answer any and all of your questions that I have answers to. And if I don't, someone will. By the way, speaking of August 6th, as I distract myself, I'm a tree talker. Has anyone else noticed that? August 6th, Hop Springs, one of my favorite places in the beautiful state of Tennessee, right in Ken Weaver's backyard, friends and neighbors. Hey, Ken?
Yes, sir.
Will you allow me? Well, I know you're not drinking that much right now.
No, sir.
Because of the ear ringing?
Yes, sir.
I mean, do you occasionally?
Yeah, I have one occasionally.
Every so often?
Every so often.
Well, I'd like to buy you one.
Okay.
Hop Springs, August 6th. After our duties are complete, let's have one together.
Okay.
Let's toss back a cold one. Which is
let's do it.
Which is if I ever open a bar,
yeah.
Ken, my bar's going to be. Have I told you this?
No.
I'm gonna call my bar. I'm gonna open up a bar. I'm gonna call it the Mortuary.
Okay.
And the slogan's going to be, come on in and toss back a cold one. Y'all like that? Like the tables will be caskets.
They're going to be caskets.
Yeah.
But caskets are slanted, and so your drink's going to fall off.
Well, the old school coffins, like
They were flat.
Yeah, vampire style coffins, with the little triangular top and the thing. They were flat.
Yeah, the kind that Matty Ross had to sleep in.
Yes.
In True Grit.
That's right. Yeah, the kind that they put Ned in The Unforgiven and put him up in front of Greeley's.
That's right.
You need to see Unforgiven. That's on the... I just picked my movie for this weekend. The theme is Westerns, everyone. It won an Academy Award for Best Picture, buddy boy.
The theme is Westerns.
They can't all be Jackson-related winners. Why don't we just call this Jackson Williams Goes to the Movies, and you get to pick all the movies?
Okay. We will watch Pop Star and The Wolf of Wall Street 3 times a year.
I walked right into it. That's right. If I watch that stupid Pop Star, you can watch Unforgiven. Clint Eastwood, for goodness sake.
You took me to Sheep Detective.
I got no comeback. That's bad.
That movie was awful.
It was not a good film. It was not. Didn't you want it to be good? I wanted it to be good.
I wanted a sheep massacre at the end of that movie.
Well, I'm saying, didn't you want it to be good? I wanted it to be good so much, and it was not good. Anyway, before we get into any of the content of that, Ken,
yes, sir.
You've inspired this, so this is all your fault. So any negative comments, direct them toward Ken. Okay, ready?
Yes.
The original Big Jim.
Yes.
There was Big Jim.
There's Big Jim.
All right. Now, I've got the descriptions for each of these characters, which it's just a delight. Big Jim, your basic good guy leader of the pack.
Yes, sir.
He was an average Caucasian male with few distinguishable characteristics except having a permanent good attitude and joy for life.
Yeah, I had a smile on his face all the time, and his hair was perfect.
Oh, there you go. He was joined by Big Jack. Big Jack was one of the first African-American characters with a friendly attitude that made it into toys without any racial stereotypes.
I did have Big Jack. I thought that was Big Josh, but yeah, I had Black Big Jack.
Oh, yeah. Big Jack was black.
And he had a kung fu grip.
And I'm sure he did. But no racial stereotypes, thank goodness.
No.
Big Josh now. Big Josh was, this is the description, effectively Big Jim with a beard.
Yes.
He was one of Jim's best friends and was positioned as the tough guy among the group.
Well, he always got beat up in my circles.
Well, there you go. So did Ken always got his ass kicked by Superman when I played dolls with my sister.
Yeah.
My older sister. I'd be like 8. She's like 11. She's got Barbie and Ken there. And I had one of those like 12-inch tall, like foot tall Supermans. Mm-hmm. And I had a foot tall Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Darth Vader and Superman just wore Ken out.
Wow.
They never fought each other, and because I was a little worried about it. You know what I mean?
Well, Ken was kind of a sissy.
Ken was a sissy, but I'm thinking at some point along the line, you would think that Superman and Darth Vader would. My brother got Luke Skywalker, and we whipped his ass 7 ways till Sunday. But,
yeah, he wasn't very tough.
I mean, whatever. Luke was a big whiner.
He wasn't very tough looking.
No, what about I don't have the transfers for the anime station. Shut up. Luke. Anyway, Big Jeff is Big Jim's third buddy, an Australian blonde.
I didn't have him.
Who was also Jim's opponent in the Olympic boxing match set, even though both Jim and Jeff are on the American team. Then there was Dr. Steele. He came with a right hand of steel and an iron pipe. He also had a large dragon tattoo on his chest. Originally a villain, he later appeared as a member of the pack. However, in some countries, he remained a villain.
I don't remember him.
And then Chief Tankua. That's Jim's Native American friend. He came with a bow and arrow and was the first character to wear a wolf tattoo.
Man, I wish I'd have had him.
You wish you would have had all of these.
All of them.
Still in their boxes because I'm looking at this. They're like $300 in the box, buddy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I bet you that big old camper and van, I bet you they're worth a lot of money, too.
Oh, man. Let me tell you. So anyway, there's your walk down memory lane for the toy line. I'm fascinated by this because I never knew any of these toys existed. They came. I mean, I was born in '73, Ken, so you're a little older than me. But man, oh man, I would have loved to have had a big gym.
Yeah, I was 5 in '73.
Yes, right in your wheelhouse. All right, let's go to Al, who wants to talk tent. Hey, Al, how are you?
Good. You said that you were looking for the rationale on why they could have it and you couldn't have it?
Yes, sir, Al, I was.
Okay, dokie. Well, it could be your phrase of the day. The law is the law. Unless you're the law, then there ain't no law.
Well, you know, sad but true. You're speaking the truth, Al. I wish you weren't, but kind of feels like that's the way that it is.
I know. I'm 69 years old. I've looked at a lot of crazy stuff. Guns by the police sticking in your face. The man was howling at the mouth. I thought he was going to shoot me. For not wearing my goggles on my motorcycle in 1978.
Wait, you got stopped for not wearing goggles?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. I was going down it was August of 78, and I was going up Gallatin Pike, and about 8:30 at night, and I didn't have my goggles on because I could see really good, and they did a U-turn, got behind me, and of course, I didn't want to have no dealings with them, so I hooked down the road and went through this grass lot, and it was already kind of dewy, and next thing I know, my bike was down, and that guy was straddling over me with his revolver in my face.
You know, it's an old, Al, you remind me of a story my grandpa told me, and I don't know that I believe this happened to my grandpa, and thank you for the call, Al. I appreciate you. My grandfather owned, and there was a time that I had a photograph of this motorcycle with my grandfather on it, and you know, there's little things in life. When you reach a certain age in life, you look back and, you know, a lot of the stuff that has come and gone, it has come and gone. You know, Ken Weaver had Big Jim. Big Jim has come into his life and has left his life. And does Ken wish he still had Big Jim around? Sure. One of the things that I wish more than any other that I still had in my possession was a photograph of my grandfather in a leather helmet. And it is from sometime in the late 1940s, early 1950s, and he was on an Indian motorcycle that had a suicide. I think it's called a suicide shifter. It was you weren't shifting the gears with your feet; you were shifting the gears with a gear shift with your hand.
Wow!
And he had that bike until he broke his pelvis trying to drive the bike off the second story of I think it was on the second story of a barn. Anyway, but I so wish I still had that photograph because I absolutely love it. But I've lost it over the course of time. But my grandfather told me this story, and it's been retold and retold so many times. I think my grandfather was just kind of owning it. He said that he was driving through Williston, South Carolina. But I'm going to choose to believe the story, by the way, whether it actually happened or not. It is one of those that I've just absorbed into the lore that is my grandpa.
Yes, sir.
So Pa said he was driving through Williston. He named the cop, so maybe it did happen to him. He said he's driving through Williston, South Carolina on his motorcycle, and he was driving over the speed limit, and he got lit up. And at the time, you could settle a ticket with the police officer, right? This is back in the day where, you know.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. If you told him what the fine was, you could pay the fine, and then you have settled up, and you didn't have to come back to court. And so the officer said, young man, you were going 15 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. And my grandpa said, I'm sorry about that. And he goes, well, that's a $5 fine. And my grandpa said he gave him a 10 and said, well, here's $10 because I'm coming back in about a half hour. And so, so according to my grandpa, he said the trooper lifted me off with one hand, lifted me off the motorcycle when I said that to him, and promptly put me in the back of his vehicle and took me straight to jail, where my father was requested to get me out. And he said when his dad, my great-grandfather, came to get him out of jail, that he asked the trooper, why is he in jail? He said, what's going on? He said, well, he was speeding coming through town. He said, well, why'd you put him in jail for that? He said, I didn't put him in jail for that. I put him in jail for his smart-ass mouth. So, 615-737-9986. Bill is next up with a thought on the cops. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well, Bill. I hope you are.
Hey, I live in Cottontown. I'm a transplant from California, but I was in law enforcement for 34 years. But during my time here in Cottontown, I was told a story by a gentleman that I put in a book that I wrote, and he said he was friends with the Sumner County Sheriff because they went to high school together, and when he was moonshining, he always got off when he got caught, and the Gallatin judge that he would sell moonshine to always let him off if he ever got to the court. So, yeah, the good old boy thing is there, and it's who you know, what you know, I guess, here in Tennessee. But in California, we got our butts incarcerated if we broke crimes as cops. We have a very strict ethical laws and procedures and policies. We're under the microscope all the time in California. Maybe that should happen here in Tennessee. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm not suggesting that the individual police officers, and I want to make clear that I'm not suggesting that police officers individually are trying to skirt the law. I'm suggesting that universally the law doesn't seem on tent. The law does not carve out an exception for front door windows on police vehicles, according to the law that I'm reading. And someone needs to help me out with regard to why the police, troopers, sheriff's departments, local police are riding around with what is clearly tent that is not legal for me on their car when it apparently isn't legal for them either. And I know earlier in the week we joked around about this. Matt Murphy got a ticket, ha, ha, ha. And that's all well and good. That's not what this is about anymore. It is about rules are for me and not for thee. And it doesn't make sense when you tell me, oh, well, we're preventing you from putting tent on your driver's side door or your passenger side door because of safety. Well, then why do the cops get to do it? Because the law says, and, well, I'll tell you what. Take a break and I'll tell you what the law says. Because the law doesn't carve that exception. It carves an exception for rear windows and the back glass, not for driver or unless I'm misreading it. 615-737-9986 is the telephone number. 615-737-9986. It's Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. With 4 separate locations, there are no excuses, gentlemen. It's time to get into the clinic, and let's get this right. Let's get off the bench and back into the game with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. You know what I'm talking about, men. You've lost a step or two. Maybe it's a step or two for workout. Maybe it's a step or two working in the yard. Maybe it's a step or two in the bedroom. Am I speaking a language you understand? Gentlemen, you don't have to live this way, and you don't have to worry about it any longer. Get to the experts at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. TennesseeMen'sClinic.com is the website that will direct you to every location they have in and around Middle Tennessee. Of course, the OG in Midtown Nashville. Evan Bass started that in 2014. Then there's Cool Springs. Clarksville started next, and now Murfreesboro is up and running, and it's all ready for you, gentlemen. They'll check you out for less than $100, figure out what's going on inside of that body of yours, and give you a plan of action that will get you back into the game. Tennessee Men's Clinic. Call today, 615-208-9090, 208-9090.
4 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, a 12-year-old boy is recovering after a bullet came through his family's apartment last night in North Nashville. Witnesses say there was a fight in the parking lot of the Knoll Crest Apartments where a woman tells Channel 4 she heard 30 shots.
I was in the window and I just heard shots. I got down. I told my daughter to get back in the house, made sure her and my grandkids was all right. I feel bad for the child. It's trauma for the child. Like, he innocent, in the house minding his own business, and have to deal with this for the rest of his life.
After the shots were fired, several people jumped into the cars and drove off. Police say they're looking at surveillance video, talking to witnesses to try to identify all those involved. The Food and Drug Administration is looking into a new psychosporiasis outbreak affecting dozens of people nationwide. So far, 72 cases have been identified in this new outbreak. These infections are linked to fresh produce contaminated through unsafe water. The investigation comes amid a broader surge in cyclospora illnesses reported across the country this summer. President Trump touting his latest initiative that he says would kickstart the construction of AI data centers without passing on the utility costs to consumers. At the Department of Energy today, the president said his plan urges tech companies to pay for and generate the electricity they need.
The American innovators and consumers thrive to win together because we're insisting that AI data centers and big tech companies pay their own way, and that's what they're doing, and they're happy to do it because this way they're going to be able to function and function brilliantly. They're going to have a lot of electricity left over, and they'll put that into the grid.
Critics question whether the pledge alone can prevent future rate increases. Meanwhile, a Democratic-led effort to rein in presidential war powers regarding Iran fell short in the Senate today. Senators voted 49 to 47 against advancing the measure, leaving current military operations unaffected. Earlier in the day, the House approved a separate war powers resolution after 4 Republicans sided with Democrats. That would be Thomas Massey, Brian Fitzpatrick, Warren Davidson, and Tom Barrett. And when the time comes, sometimes you have no choice. ABC's Sherry Preston with more on the unconventional birth that took place recently in New Jersey.
What's it feel like when you deliver a baby? And are there any surprises?
I would say how slippery the baby was.
Yeah.
A lot of fluids on it. Wasn't expecting that with the rubber gloves.
Berlin Borough Police Officer Dominic Hudson, who helped Taylor Durham give birth in the parking lot of a Wawa convenience store.
It was a little nerve-wracking. I don't have any children, never delivered a baby, so I didn't know what to expect.
The birth actually took place in the parking lot on July 6th. Mom and police officer and baby were all reunited this week. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
That's the latest news, traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, westbound 24 is still jammed up for two reasons. I'm showing that westbound is shut down right there at Maxey Road. And then further west from there, you're down to one lane and the right shoulder is blocked. It is the westbound right lane of two lanes that are blocked. Also, the right shoulder by an overturned vehicle. And that is at ML King Parkway there in Clarksville. Talbot's Corner, we got a crash. The left lane on-ramp is blocked. 65 northbound on-ramp from 6524. In Madison, got a stalled vehicle blocking the left lane, 65 northbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome, one and all. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll get to it. Is that person on line one named Murphy? Huh. And they want to talk about Weaver. So we got one Murphy hosting the show. We got a Weaver back in the news closet. We've got another Murphy on line one who wants to talk about the Weaver in the news closet. And we got a Weasel running the show. That would be young Jackson Williams, who's also running for governor. The governor of Gravitas. 9 minutes after the hour. In the meantime, we're going to get back to 10. This has kind of transitioned into a more serious issue, and that is it permissible in your world for the law enforcement not to abide by the same laws that they stop, fine, and or arrest you for? Right? And that seems to be what's going on here. We're going to set that aside for a moment because, 9777 says, why are you still talking about the 10 issue? Law enforcement is a consequence for people that have broken the law, whatever the law may be. What I have discovered in the fun conversation that we've had over a couple of days about me getting a ticket for tent, the police are in violation of the law too. And I want to know why that's okay. And if it is such a safety hazard for the police that they need to tint their front windows, that's their driver's door window and their passenger door window, then we need to change the law. The law's there for a reason. And I love the police. And you will find no person on radio, no person in this community, no person in this state that's going to give more of the benefit of the doubt to the LEOs that lay it on the line on a daily basis. And I have so many friends that are that wear the uniform, that go out every day. And I had many of them reach out to me regarding the whole tent thing. And they were laughing their butts off. They thought it was funny as all get out. But it's a more serious matter. Does the law either matters or it doesn't matter, y'all? And it does not matter what the law is. And frankly, I'm going to pay the fine. I don't think I'm going to challenge the thing. That's not the point. The point is not for me to get out of a ticket. It really isn't. The point is that we kind of discovered a loophole in the law, and it's annoying that, A, used car dealers can sell you vehicles that are not in compliance with roadworthiness, and B, that the police officers are just running around roughshod, clearly in violation of the law as it's written, and nobody says anything about it. In the meantime, there's also something going on that I want to make you aware of, and I'm going to get back to the 10 issue in a moment. But our good friend Justin has called in on the show because he experienced something in the Kroger parking lot earlier today that I want to make you aware of. And our good friend Norm Parton also did some of this as well. There are dishonest people trying to do dishonest things regarding the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Justin, what is going on, my friend?
Not a whole lot, Mr. Murphy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You had an interesting experience in the Kroger parking lot earlier today, did you not?
I did. I was approached by some petitioners that were trying to collect signatures to build quote-unquote affordable housing at the Nashville Speedway.
So tell me about how the interaction went down, because you texted me and I tried to get you to go back, and I think they were wise to you when you tried to go back, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what happened. I was loading groceries into my car when I got approached, and they told me what it was, and I told them I was out on that. And when I went back, I tried to ask, and the little girl that was collecting the signatures looked at me and said, "Oh, that's okay, sir. Thank you very much," and walked away from me with the person she was training. So, good times.
So, what help me understand, and you said it, but walk me through what they said it was specifically to change the fairgrounds from racing to affordable housing?
They said they were collecting signatures to petition affordable housing at the Nashville Speedway. That's what she said when I asked her what she was collecting signatures for.
And that's a little disingenuous, as you well know, Justin. And I'm glad that you're smart enough to get out on it. You understand policy and you understand politics well enough. I am fearful that, because a lot of, that's fine. Affordable housing, that sounds great. And it feels like they're being a bit disingenuous trying to collect these signatures for John Ingram.
Yeah, they're definitely getting paid a lot of money to stand out in that heat. As somebody that's been involved in signature drives in the past, I would bet they're making no less than $20 an hour, but might even be $30 to do it. So they're paying some money to collect those signatures for sure.
And I see what I need to do. I need to figure out if they know who's paying them. You know what I mean? Like, hey, who hired you to do this?
She had a T-shirt on that was advertising what she was doing, but I can't remember what it said.
I bet it was Care.
Speedway.
Care.
No, it named the Speedway specifically.
Well, CARE stands for Citizens Against Racing or Raceway Expansion. So,
I didn't realize.
That's an offshoot. Ingram and his minions, Mike Kopp and others, have found people in and around the raceway to represent them in that effort. So this might be something a little bit different. There was also a Save the Speedway organization that is intentionally attempting to confuse people to suggest that they're trying to save the racing at the Speedway I think Save the Fairgrounds is what they call themselves. But all right, so y'all be careful. Y'all be careful. So Justin says they're out and about and they're trying to get your signatures. If anybody in Davidson County asks you for a signature for a petition that you don't understand, the first question you should ask is, who are you working for? And then when they tell you who they're working for, they'll say some sort of nonprofit and it's like, all right, who's paying you?
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't think about that.
No. You didn't do anything wrong. You're busy. You got things to do. I'm just glad you didn't sign it. Yeah, my buddy Norm, Justin, that's good stuff. We're gonna expose these people. Thank you for the call. So Justin's out and about and he's talking about it. And by the way, Justin is a good friend of the show. And Justin, thank you for all of your help on the raccoon front. And you're gonna help me on the tent front too. But National Fairgrounds Speedway, for those not caught up on the story, the fairgrounds is a chartered experience. It's a chartered use of that property. Meaning when the Nashville area became Metro Nashville, when they chartered themselves as a sole entity in Davidson County, I guess this was in the 1960s, they in their charter put down the restricted use of the Nashville Fairgrounds. And the use was for fairground purposes, and they had to change that eventually, and for racing. And it is chartered that there would be a racing facility on that property. Well, Geodis Park came along, and John Ingram made all the promises in the world that he loved racing, and he loved the Speedway, and he loved everything about it. And now he is doing everything in his power. A multi-billionaire is doing everything in his power to destroy that family-oriented activity that's been going on as a racing facility since the I guess 1904 was the start of it when it was horse racing. It eventually transitioned to motorized racing. And now the Bristol folks want to infuse $130 odd million into a renovation of that facility, alleviating at least $2 million of tax burden from the taxpaying citizens on an annual basis. It will save Davidson County money for Bristol to do this. And there's one human being stopping it. And his name is John Ingram. And he's using his power and his influence over the Metro Council to stymie what is a no-brainer. And it's sickening that more people aren't standing up to this guy. It's just ridiculous. And it's not a matter of him and Matt Murphy being against one another and like men stepping forward into the arena of ideas. And I express my position on it, and he expresses his position on it, and the folks from the Raceway express their position, and then the folks from Geodis express their position, and then, we let the voters decide, or we let the people generally to decide. They're being deceitful as hell as how they do this. They're running around because they tried to get a petition passed that had language in it that didn't work. And a judge threw that petition out. They have to get the charter changed. Y'all understand? They have to change the Metro charter. And it was like 12 years ago when the people of Davidson County recertified their belief that there should be racing at that facility. Whether you love racing or not, you need to love what makes Nashville, Nashville. And we're losing it. Restaurant by restaurant, building by building, brick by brick. What was it? Nashville announced that they were closing down. That Nashville apparently opened up in the mid-1990s, and it became a destination, locally owned, locally operated, and now they have to close down. Why? Tax burden, because they have been taxed out of existence by feckless Freddie O'Connell and the rest of the liberal Metro Council. And feckless Freddie O'Connell is being led around by the nose by John Ingram and the Geodis people. And Terry Vu is all in on it, and Colby Sledge was all in. I know all the people that are in on it. And this Mike Kopp fellow, he works in conjunction with Ingram so Ingram can keep his hands off of it. See, everybody hides in the shadows. Well, I'm trying to draw them out. I'm just trying to have a fair debate. What they're trying to do is confuse the hell out of people and get them to petition for something that they don't really want. Because there's nothing. Here's what's going to happen if they get their way. They'll get enough petitions on this charter change, and if they get this before the council and get this before the people and they get the charter changed to say affordable housing, here's the bait and switch. Y'all just wait for it. And I am sad to tell you that a year or two from now, Matt Murphy will be sitting here on the radio, afternoon drive, if God willing, on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and I'll be playing a game of I Told You So. And I will be sad to do so. John Ingram is doing a bait and switch. He wants that property for himself, guys. He doesn't want it for affordable housing. What he will do is he'll get the charter changed, and he'll do the bait and switch and say, okay, fine, I'll give you a gajillion dollars for that property, and then you can use that for the affordable housing as set forth in the charter. They'll figure out a way that Ingram can get his paws on the property that was the Speedway, and they're selling it by, we need more affordable housing in the city of Nashville. Do we? On that property? Why on that property? Why not somewhere else? There are plenty of parcels of property that could go toward affordable / Section 8 housing. Because isn't that what we're talking about when we're talking about affordable housing? We're talking about government subsidized housing. I mean, otherwise, you're not making it affordable at all, Freddie. If you wanted to talk about affordable housing, you ought to go down on the property taxes that you increased by 26%, and in some cases 35% above and beyond what had already been increased 5 years ago. So they have to be deceitful to do this because people like the racetrack, even if they don't like racing. They like that experience. They like that it's family friendly. They want to see. The entire area will benefit for that. The entire nation was what? You know, we watched North Wilkesboro the other night, Jackson. You know, that's an old school track that they brought back to life in North Wilkesboro. That track sat fallow for a long time, and it was Dale Earnhardt Jr. and a number of other interests that said, you know what, we need to bring racing back to this facility. This is a great old school facility, and it is. You understand, they want to do the same thing for Nashville. They want to do the same thing for the fairgrounds. They want to infuse a lot of money, a lot of interest, a lot of time, and they want to bring NASCAR back to downtown Nashville. They're going to increase noise abatement, so it's going to be quieter for the residents around them. They're going to put a lot of money into infrastructure. They're going to put a lot of money into the facility. They're going to right now, Nashville's on the hook. Even if you hate the racetrack, think about this. Right now, Nashville's on the hook for the upkeep of that facility. And that facility is a chartered use. So they have to spend money keeping the facility up. If you lease it to Bristol for the next 30 years with a $130 million commitment, Bristol is responsible for keeping that property up at that point. So you take it's going to save taxpayer dollars. It's going to revitalize the area. It's going to give opportunities for the neighborhoods. It's going to give opportunities for people in Hendersonville and Cookville and down in Mount Pleasant and all around to experience the wonders of going to a race, a local race, like your children, like your father took you and like your grandfather took your father. No, John Ingram doesn't want it. You know why? Because John Ingram doesn't want to compete with another facility beside him for concert venues and other unsoccer-related events. Number two, John Ingram wants parking. Number three, he wants more condominiums because that's the only way that he can make money on the park. Now, I hope I've laid it down there where the goats can graze on it. And John, if you're listening, if I've said anything wrong, you just let me know. You're welcome to come on this radio show anytime you want, 24 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for King and Associates Insurance. King and Associates Insurance are the place to go for automobile insurance, homeowners insurance as well. I did. I knew that I needed homeowners insurance, and I knew the place to call. I'd already been aware of King and Associates. I'd been an endorser, a supporter of theirs for a little bit of time, and I said, guys, you know, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Let's go. Let's make this happen. And I was so pleasantly surprised because everything I'd been saying about King & Associates Insurance, about your experience, came true in my experience. They offered me homeowners that just was rock bottom prices. But then we went a step further. Emery said, let me combine these things and I can get you a better automobile rate. I said, I don't think you can. He said, I know I can. And he did it. Same great coverage, better rates with King & Associates Insurance. They're local, independent. They work for you, not the big insurance companies. They can shop around. Visit tkinginsurance.com, tkinginsurance.com, or 329-8121. 329-8121, tkinginsurance.com. King & Associates Insurance, protecting what matters most.
Federal health officials investigating a new parasitic outbreak of explosive diarrhea. We'll tell you about it at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
And just to be clear, I don't know John Ingram. He is welcome to come on the show at any point that he wants to come on the show. I don't know Mike Kopp. I know Mike Kopp is affiliated with John Ingram, and I would suggest to you, although I cannot prove it, that Mike Kopp is being paid directly by John Ingram to promote confusion and sow division amongst Nashville residents regarding the Fairgrounds Speedway. And right now, they are promoting Save the Fairgrounds as a way to do that. And they're trying to confuse people. There's a Save the Fairgrounds Speedway organization, and now they've created this Save the Fairgrounds organization, and they're trying to get enough signatures on a petition to get affordable housing as a protected use in the charter as opposed to racing, which is what it is now at the Speedway. In the meantime, Bristol sits on the side with a $130 million commitment, and I get too animated about this subject, and sometimes I get ahead of myself, and several of you are like, what's holding that project up? The city council and the mayor. It has been approved by the Nashville Fairgrounds board. I was at the meeting that they approved it. They approved the deal. There was a public hearing about it. The majority of the voices in the public hearing were in support, and the city since then, in the last 2 years, has sat on the deal and done nothing. They've done nothing because John Ingram demands they do nothing. They've done nothing because John Ingram demands they do nothing. Third time, for those of you in the back. I am of the opinion the only reason they might try to justify it otherwise. The only reason Freddie O'Connell has not brought this to a vote before the Metro Council is because John Ingram does not want it brought before a vote before the Metro Council. Now, Freddie has told me in the past, I don't have the votes. Well, Freddie, you're the mayor. Go get the votes. Go get the votes. If you believe in it. You believed in your transit tax. You get the votes for taxation all the time. You got your votes for your transit tax, didn't you? You got your vote for your property tax increase, didn't you? Amazing. You get the votes when you want it. You don't seem to be able to get the votes when you don't. Murphy talking to Murphy on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
How are we, Murph?
Hey, Murph.
How you doing, Murph?
I'm good, Murph.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Jackson's got my vote, by the way. Hey, the tent might be a good day. Friday tomorrow might be a good idea.
I didn't understand what you said, Murphy.
I said, Friday tomorrow, you might bring the tent issue up, Murph.
I will do so.
Hey, before I let you go, I got to go. I'm on my way to the earring store, but earlier I heard that you said that Mr. Weaver's got an earring. Is it a dangling earring or NASCAR theme or?
I don't know
is
that
it a picture of.
Hold on.
Picture of Amanda.
Hold on now.
Is it a picture of Amanda? Maybe.
I don't know that I said that anybody had an earring. Did I?
He said Ken Weaver had an earring and asked him something that he said because of the earring.
I don't like things that stick in my skin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you said he wasn't drinking much because he had an earring, and I wonder what kind. I'm about his age, and I wonder what kind of earring he had.
I get it now. Now I'm getting it.
I'm on my way to the store right now, the earring store right now. It's called Lobes and More over there in Wax Avenue. I'm trying to get her done today.
Get you one of them big hoops, buddy.
I do. Thanks, Murph.
Thanks, Murph. Yes, I said he had a ring in the ears. We were talking about the tinnitus. And Murphy was funning with us, Ken. He said you had an earring. Have you ever had an earring?
No, man.
Not me.
I'm not an earring. I don't have anything against anybody who has earrings or tattoos. I've just never been an earring or a tattoo person. Like I don't know. I don't think tattoos would look good on me.
Yeah, I never could think of anything that I would want to put on my body that I knew for certain that I would still want there 30 years from now. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just where I'm not anti-tattoo.
No,
Some people have great tattoos.
They do.
I've seen them, love them. That's great. If that's for you, tat it up, baby. You want to go head to toe with it. I don't care. You want to put as many pieces of metal as you can get in there. Just clamp them down. Ears, nose, one of those bull rings where you can get pulled around by a rope. Whatever. You do you, baby. You do you. Oh, we got to do us. My goodness. Ken, I'm late. You know who, hey, Jackson, you know who I'm blaming for being so late?
Murphy.
Ken Weaver. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm sorry.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Federal health officials are investigating a new cyclosporiasis outbreak that has sickened 72 people. Unlike the earlier outbreak, officials think is linked to recalled iceberg lettuce from Mexico. Investigators have not yet identified the food source in this new cluster. President Trump's expanding his administration's ratepayer protection pledge, asking AI companies and data center operators to pay above normal electricity rates when necessary, so costs are not shifted to everyday customers.
We know that the data centers and AI are dramatically increasing the demand for electricity. It's only fair that the cost of building the new infrastructure required to meet this demand should be borne by the corporations themselves, not by the American consumers and the American patriots, American citizens.
White House says utilities, governors, and developers have signed on to this expanded commitment. Elsewhere in our nation's capital, the U.S. Senate rejecting a latest Iran war powers resolution, dealing a setback to lawmakers, Democrats, seeking congressional approval for continued U.S. involvement in the conflict. The procedural vote prevented the measure from moving forward. And earlier, the House had passed its own version. They actually passed their version of this war powers resolution earlier today when 4 Republicans joined Democrats. And President Trump, in a social media post, says the nuclear deal his administration announced with Saudi Arabia just yesterday is contingent on Saudi Arabia joining the Abraham Accords and normalizing relations with Israel. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more.
Saudi Arabia has been reticent to join this arrangement, in part because it is insistent that there be a Palestinian state. The president this morning made this statement, and his press secretary at the briefing said that it is the final word on this, that the president is ultimately the deal maker in this, and that the deal is contingent on this condition the president announced this morning as far as Trump is concerned, and that if they don't agree to it, Caroline Levitt says the deal is off.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, so 24 westbound north of Nashville right now. It is like a parking lot. It's a 104-minute delay due to an overturned semi blocking the right lane in Clarksville. Then before you get to Clarksville, you've got a crash on 24 westbound. It's just past exit 24. So at least now a 94-minute delay going westbound on 24 out of Nashville. Over here on the South Loop, you've got a crash blocking the Gore. That's at 65 northbound and 40 south. Talbot's Corner about to clean up a crash on the left shoulder, 65 northbound on-ramp from exit 86. Also 65 southbound there at Trinity Lane. In the Hermitage, we got a crash 40 westbound past Central Pike. Madison, a stalled vehicle blocking the left lane, 65 northbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. I'm Ken Weaver.
There was a time not too long ago when you didn't know that something was going on in your body until you felt it. And that makes sense, right? I mean, you didn't know that there was something happening inside. And a lot of times, those things that were happening could be life-threatening. And it still remains life-threatening. I mean, cancers and whatnot, they start before you feel them, and there's an answer for you. And I would so encourage you to pick up the phone and get to that answer at Kraft Body Scan. Kraft Body Scan is here in Nashville for a singular purpose, and that is to give you peace of mind or to help you find things that are going on inside of your body before you notice them. And I understand that's a difficult time. You know, it's difficult for me, Matt Murphy, to say, hey, you need to call somebody about something that you don't know is happening. But let me tell you, people have done this, and over again, Kraft Body Scan identifies small things that are small things that can be easily solved with medical treatment, but could have become big things without you knowing. And that's what it's all about. The Couples Heart and Lung Scan is just a way to introduce you to that process. $99. Together we scan, Matt50 is the promo code. Together we scan, Matt50, or call 615-436-1000, 436-1000 for Kraft Body Scan. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So 3888's all mad at me for some reason and says that, I'm being nasty to John Ingram. Says, how many bleepy short tracks does NASCAR need? They got Richmond, they got North Wilkesboro, Rockingham if they want it. This is not, to me, this issue of the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway is not, to me, about NASCAR. NASCAR is a bonus. It is about a Nashville institution going away. It is about a rich guy that's got all the money in the world, could buy any property anywhere he wants it, who simply wants that property after saying he didn't, after lying to the people of this community in order to get the tax abatements and the other. I mean, I understand he built that facility, Geodis Park. I don't have anything against John Ingram except he's lying about the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. So I'm glad he employs people. I'm glad that he's got there are businesses that are associated with Ingram. I'm glad that he pays people money. I'm glad the soccer I don't mind the soccer club being here. I mean, soccer's not for me, but I don't mind it. That's the difference between me and John Ingram. I don't mind that he's here. He minds that the fairgrounds is here. After lying and saying that he didn't. After lying and saying that he supported it. I don't like people that lie, right? So 3888 says, NASCAR, 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 they can kiss my butt. This is not about NASCAR. This is about the Fairgrounds Speedway, which has been such an institution for so many people in this community for so many years, going away. And let me tell you something. Without the infusion of money, without a renovation, without revitalizing that space, it will go away. And it's what John Ingram's trying to do. He's actively trying to change the charter, but if that doesn't work, that charter change is designed to give an excuse to Freddie O'Connell and the Metro Council why they don't take Bristol's deal up, and that excuse delays the deal. At some point, Bristol's going to say it's not worth the time, energy, or effort anymore, and they'll walk. And when they walk, that fairgrounds will shut down. And 5 years from now, folks will be wondering what happened to the fairgrounds. Wasn't it so much fun to go out to the fairgrounds? Remember when Dale Jr. came here and there were 17,000 people in the stands? Wasn't that so wonderful? Man, I wish we had that again. And everyone will wonder what happened. I'm telling you in real time what's happening. And all I can do is act like the town crier, I suppose. This is about a facility that has an opportunity to revitalize a community, or at least the area in which it is in. And a very small group of people led by one singular billionaire is trying to stop it for their own selfish purposes after promising that they wouldn't. And the people that have been elected to act like leaders in this community refuse to lead because they're afraid of John Ingram. And I cannot say it more plainly than that. This is about fathers who take their sons. It's about family. I've gone out there. I've seen the racing. I've seen the local community spirit involved in that. And people come from little communities all over. And there are other tracks all over this state. And they go to this is about Nashville retaining the soul of the city that it's slowly losing. And I'm just 5 years in, y'all. I'm not here to tell anybody how to do anything. I've just seen it happen in other communities. 3888 says, I'm pro auto racing. I don't understand why the fairgrounds and Geodis Park cannot exist mutually. They can. The one person that's stopping it is John Ingram. Sir, all I can tell you is Ingram doesn't want. What I've been told by people that I trust is that John Ingram, it's not about soccer and racing mutually existing, because Bristol has said we'll schedule around soccer. It's about John Ingram not wanting competition for other events at his venue. He doesn't want the fairgrounds to be available for people for concerts and other types of activities that he wants for Geodis, is what I've been told. And he wants the property for his own use. And it's not about purchasing the property. The property is currently owned by the city, and the city is the controlling factor here. So 615-737-9986. Someone said, let's have a Murphy poll. Okay. The racetrack in Nashville is already gone. It's not. I might be tilting at Windmills Hill. I don't believe that it is. We have to convince enough people on the Metro Council and Mayor Freddie O'Connell that enough people care about this that they will be voted out of office if they don't do something about it. We have to convince them that the people are tired of the billionaires running the show and the lawmakers being beholden to the billionaires, and that we want to retain and build and rebuild and renovate that which makes Nashville, Nashville. If they fear their election in 2027, they'll do something about it. Sorry, Matt, but the people with the money always get their way. The sheriff of Rutherford County didn't. I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to talk about that. Yeah, so I don't know anything about the sheriff of Rutherford County. I would have to research that. But, I understand the spirit of the people with the golden rule. I get it. The people with the gold make the rules. I'm here trying to push back against that because I'm not bought and paid for by anyone, John Ingram included. Sadly, a lot of our politicians are, and I'm not saying it's Johnny Garrett, but I'm a little concerned about that. He's running for Congress. but he stymied legislation that would have preserved the right to race in pre-existing racetracks and prevent people from casting frivolous lawsuits against them. And I'm told the reason he did that is because he was told to, but that, he says that's not what happened. He was here. Y'all heard him. All right, who is next? I think it's Scott. Hello, Scott.
Hey, how you doing? What was we talking about? I've been on hold for 50 minutes.
Well, Scott, I'm very sorry. You're on the radio right now. I think you wanted to talk about tent.
Yes, sir. That's it. Hey, by the way, that's a great story, and I've been mad about the fairgrounds when they built Geodis Park because I knew that was the next thing to get rid of it after they built all that. I'm still mad about them moving the old women's building, and I used to have a booth out there every year to sell stuff at the flea markets. But anyway, the police use that tent as a tool. They're riding around with a uniform on, a shotgun sticking up in the floor, a laptop. They're tracking people that are speeding. They're following people that have robbed something. And, it's just, it's a tool that's necessary for them, and it's not really necessary for us the way I see it.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm accepting of that, but it's against the law right now.
Well, it's against the law for me to carry a machine gun, but the police can. So I don't think you could compare. It
is not against the law. No, sir, it's not against the law for the police to carry a machine gun. It is. I
know it's not, but it is for us.
Right. It is against the law.
And you're comparing what people can do.
No, sir.
Against an organized police department, and I just think you're way out of line.
Scott, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just telling you what the law is, and I can help you with that if you want me to. The law says
that law don't apply to the police department.
Let me read it to you, and then then you can offer your opinion. The law says that, and I'm reading from 55.9.107. It offers an exception. The restrictions of this subsection do not apply to any of the following motor vehicles, and it talks about motor vehicles permitted by the federal regulation, blah, blah, blah. And it talks about commercial license plate or government service vehicles used for law enforcement. But then it goes on to say, this subdivision shall not be construed in any way to exempt the front door windows of any motor vehicle of any kind from the restrictions of subsection A1A. So
I get all that, but when you're chasing felons, Scott, and you are holding stakeouts, all that's out the window as far as I'm concerned. At the end of the day, I want to be safe.
I do too, Scott.
I don't want a radio host telling everybody it's okay, being mistreated.
Well, who has done that, Scott? I haven't said that. I support the law enforcement.
You're pretty much condemning the police because they do one thing and you can't do it. That sounds like a liberal.
No, sir. Scott, you are off base, buddy. You are as off base as can be.
Yeah, I think because police have a hard job. They need everything, every tool they can get. And for a radio host to put down the police because
I'm not putting down the police, Scott.
That they're getting over.
Scott,
that's the way I accept
Scott,
it.
Let's talk for a second. You and me talk for a second. No, let's converse. Let's have a conversation as opposed to a monologue.
I want to say I'm not hanging up on you. I'm in an iffy place for signal, so I'll be listening. And I'm not hanging up though. I love your show, matter of fact.
No. I want you to engage me. So
okay.
All right. So you listen to the show. You think I have a great show?
I do.
You think I'm anti-police?
Well, I don't know why you're talking down to him because you're telling the cop, well, why can I do you do this and I can't? He has a hard enough job without having to argue on frivolous, silly things. And I think this is a silly thing.
The very essence of the police relies on a compliance with the law. Is that not right?
That's right.
So if we don't comport with the law, so do we not expect that those that we empower to enforce the law will also follow it?
I expect them to do and use the tools they need so we can be safe.
So they don't have to follow. They don't have to follow. So they don't have to. Excuse me. They don't have to follow.
Have you ever walked up to a car with a shotgun in the back seat pointed at you and you couldn't see in there because the windows was too dark?
I have not.
And there's been many police officers killed like that.
Have you?
I come from a law enforcement family, and I know a lot of individuals, or a lot of circumstances. Let me put it that way.
Scott, if I'm coming off as anti-police, I apologize, because this is not a matter of being against the police. It's a matter of expecting that the law is going to apply to everyone, including the police. And this is more of a commentary on the lawmakers. The lawmakers need to change the law if it is a necessary function of law enforcement to have their front glass tinted. Then it is incumbent upon the General Assembly. So this is an indictment on them. This is not even about the LEOs. This is about the General Assembly and the law as written in the Code of Tennessee.
Well, it's like, my opinion is that arguing about something is I don't know. This thing all it does is take people. It makes people even dislike police even more, because they're riding around. Well, who's got tinted windows? Why can't I have tinted windows? Well, think of all the reasons why they can have tinted windows and you can't. There's a lot of them. So anyway,
what benefit is it for a police officer to have tinted windows?
My God, I thought we just talked about it. He's got a uniform on.
You were talking about the benefit. No, you spoke about the necessity for me not to have tinted windows, which I agree with.
No, I'm talking about all along since we first started talking. They wear uniforms.
No, you're talking about walking up. You're talking about walking up with a shotgun, Scott. That's what you were talking about.
I'm talking about what tinted windows does against them, as far as making it unsafe for them when they pull a car over with dark tinted windows and a convicted felon is fleeing from somewhere and he don't think nothing about killing a cop. There's plenty of situations like that that's gone down over the years. They need every tool they can get, and they, my opinion, should be exempt from tint and everything else. And this is really I think it's dumb subject to even be on.
Well, Scott, I've given you plenty of time to discuss that dumb subject. You waited for 52 minutes to discuss that dumb subject.
You're right.
So listen, and I appreciate that.
I worry about my police, unlike you. You know, you're
Scott,
so worried about you got to have.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? You said that you know that I support police, that you were a listener of this show, and you know that I support LEOs.
Right, I think you do, but I don't understand why you would even bring this up. If you know,
if you would listen, I explained it to you. I just explained it to you that the law matters, and if we don't expect that our law enforcement officers are going to comply with the very laws that they are there to enforce, then that is a degradation of the law in and of itself, the thing that you say that you want to protect.
Well, I think you're way off base.
Okay,
pal,
that's fair.
And have a good day.
Scott, I didn't hang up on you, buddy.
I didn't hang up. I just went through a dead spot.
No, you're still here. I'm just letting you know that I want you to feel we're fussing right now, but I don't want to leave angry. I'm not angry at you.
I'm not angry.
You're the one that's taking shots, buddy. I'm not taking shots at you. You're taking shots at me.
Well, I don't what? Because I don't understand why you would put police at risk.
I'm not putting police at risk.
Windows being tinted.
I'm not putting. It's not about my windows. It's about theirs, and about following the law.
And they do it and I don't know what you don't understand that they do it because it's a tool to keep them safe when they're following people, and when they're on stakeouts, the people they're following can see their uniform, their guns, and everything else. So it's a tool, and I love your show.
Thank you,
I'm
Scott.
Not mad, but
I'm glad you're not. I appreciate it. Hey, Scott, one final question before you go. Are you in favor? Are you in favor of flock cameras?
What?
Flock cameras, surveillance cameras.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. 615-737-9986 at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, USS stands for United Structural Systems. My goodness gracious, the foundation of your home means everything. Whether you see it or not, whether you think about it or not, it is the truth. And if your foundation is compromised in some form or fashion, your entire home is compromised. Let's get USS out for a free inspection to find out what's going on. They're your local experts, and they've served over 30,000 satisfied people in the Tennessee area, and they want to serve you. A simple telephone call, a visit to the website will get it done. Free inspection on the way. They can do the foundation inspection. They can inspect the crawl space. They can make sure that your waterproofing is A-OK. They did it with my home, and they can do it with yours. USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com. For all of your foundation waterproofing needs, there's only one I would recommend. USS. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy here for the one and only Nashville Safe House. It is the summer of savings at Nashville Safe House, and the end of summer closeout sales are here on all Liberty safes. Biggest selection and the lowest prices of the year on Liberty are available right now at Nashville Safe House. Plus, up to $400 in rebates on all Browning safes. The best selection of Fort Knox safes in the Southeast. That would mean the best selection in the United States. That would mean the best selection in the world. That would mean the best selection in the universe, right? So, better selection of Fort Knox safes in the universe. The best selection is at Nashville Safe House. You heard me right. Don't bother going anywhere else because there are no competitors. There's just one, Nashville Safe House. They have all the name brands. They have all the fire ratings. They have the best prices. They have the best selection. It's a no-brainer, friends. 4th Avenue South in Nashville, across from the infamous City Cemetery. Go by and see Mark and the team at Nashville Safe House.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. A new outbreak of the cyclospora parasite that causes explosive diarrhea is under investigation by the FDA. So far, 72 illnesses have been reported, but officials have not announced where the cases occurred or what food may be involved. Health officials say they're still working to determine whether this new case is connected to the earlier outbreak, believed to be from iceberg lettuce or stem from a separate source. Right now in Nashville, multiple traffic tickets gone in an instant. Channel 4's Steve Mailing spoke to Metro Council member Courtney Johnston, who's not happy about traffic cases being dismissed in Judge Robin Hayes' court at a time when Metro has put such an emphasis on safer driving.
Councilmember Johnston says she found out about the issue last week and called Metro Police to confirm what she had heard. She claims the dockets were dismissed because Metro Legal will not staff any traffic cases. Johnston says given the city's stance on Vision Zero, she hopes those who are cited will be held responsible in court.
We have these rules for a reason. We have traffic laws for a reason. I would like for them to start enforcing and not dismissing these court dockets. And if they need time, they can push out these dates. They don't have to dismiss if they need time to work this out with Metro Legal.
We did reach out to Judge Hayes' office to try to learn more about these dockets. We were told that the judge couldn't ethically comment on the disposition of those cases.
Here in Nashville, Channel 4 says zoo leaders have rejected a proposed agreement with DC Blocks that would have allowed for a smaller data center to be built next to the zoo. Channel 4's Hunter Hoagland.
So this would have ended the larger expansion plan and returned some of that land to the zoo. The zoo CEO says a data center that close to animals, schools, and nearby neighborhoods has not yet been proven to be safe. The zoo's board of directors voted unanimously in an emergency meeting just today to turn down that proposal.
President Trump says Americans should not have to absorb the energy costs of the rapidly expanding artificial intelligence industry.
That's why earlier this year I introduced the Ratepayer Protection Pledge. Under this groundbreaking plan, America's largest tech companies have formally committed to fund or build all energy infrastructure required to meet the demand they are placing on the grid. So they're going to be funding all of those electric needs, and we're giving them the right to build their own power plants.
White House officials say nearly 200 additional stakeholders have joined the effort. And the U.S. Senate today blocked a resolution aimed at requiring congressional authorization for continued hostilities with Iran, with the measure failing on a 49-47 vote. The outcome preserves the administration's current authority to conduct operations. The vote followed House passage of a similar resolution urging an end to the conflict without congressional approval. It passed the House with the help of 4 Republicans who voted with Democrats. That's the latest news. Weather's next, so is traffic. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, still showing a 78-minute delay westbound 24 because of a crash that has now been moved off onto the right shoulder there in Clarksville. It is stop-and-go traffic starting at New Hope Road. Looks like they're about to get that crash cleared up there on the South Loop that was blocking the Gore 65 northbound there at 40. And then 12th Avenue South at Division Street, we've got a crash. 24 westbound past Shelby Avenue over on the East Bank. Belmont area crash, 440 westbound before Hillsborough Pike, 21st Avenue. And in Madison, a stalled vehicle off on the right shoulder, 65 northbound past Briley Parkway, Ellington Parkway, exit 90AB. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. There has always been and always will be a healthy tension, and it's a good thing. So, and I want to specifically relate to the telephone call we had with Scott, which was contentious, and I appreciate Scott listening, and I appreciate him calling in. I appreciate the spirited debate on the issue. I do not appreciate the mischaracterization of my intentions nor the mischaracterization of my feelings about law enforcement. I support law enforcement, but they have to abide by the rules too. The Constitution means something. The rule of law means something. And if those that are empowered to enforce it don't abide by it, then what the hell do we do? What are we even doing? What do we have? So I point out that there is a notable issue that's going on, and Scott wants to turn that into Matt Murphy's a liberal anti-law enforcement. Come on, man. You don't have to do all of that. It's unnecessary. But I do appreciate the call, and I appreciate the sentiment of the call, and I appreciate the difference of opinion. There has always been a healthy, robust tension between the freedom and liberty that we are guaranteed under God through the Constitution of the United States of America and our Bill of Rights. These are God-given rights guaranteed to us by God and certified by the Constitution. There's always been a tension, a natural tension between those freedoms and liberties and our desire to remain secure and our desire to be secure. It is a balancing act. You know, it's like a tightrope walker where you're balancing, and you imagine that tightrope and you imagine that beam, and that beam on one end has freedom and liberty, ultimate freedom and liberty, and on the other end has security. One of the most secure places on planet Earth is North Korea. You want to live in North Korea? Nobody talks back to the law enforcement in North Korea. North Korea can have all the tint on their windows they want, right? Not a very good place to live. It would also not be a very good place to live in an anarchistic society where there are no law enforcement officers, because there is no rule of law, and everyone abides by the rule of the jungle, if you will. So it's a natural balancing act between that security that we want and that we empower our law enforcement to enforce versus the freedoms that we ought to have to live a life of our own choosing. And it's one of the reasons I brought up flock cameras at the end of the telephone call, because flock cameras, I think, swing. I have been in favor of LPRs in the past, and I think I'm changing my position based on how the technology is changing and based on how it's being used for more robust and more universal and more blanket surveillance. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's swinging us too far on the security side and not recognizing the freedoms that law-abiding citizens ought to have. Not for, I was listening to Hand earlier today, and I think he was making a lot of good points, and this concept of a right to privacy and the idea of a right to privacy ending when you walk on the public streets. Well, that's all fair and good. Here's the way that I would put it. I don't have an expectation of a right to privacy, but I consider tracking and surveillance to be an invasion of my personal space and an invasion of my life. It's not even a matter of my privacy at that point. A lot of folks on the phones. Let's go to Chad, who is next. Hello, Chad. Thank you for holding. I appreciate you.
Hey, Matt. Man, I'm not going to shoot at you, so it won't be like the last caller, but I did enjoy that little debate.
Thank you, Chad.
Hey, I was going to tell you about what a tent person, a couple of different tent people told me about the percentages on your tent and how to go with a percentage that will keep the cops from bothering you. Okay? I personally knew I wanted probably illegal tent because I think 35% on your side, on your driver and passenger windows are legal. But that wasn't dark enough, so I wanted 20%, which is technically illegal. But most tent shops say the cops won't bother you over that usually, hardly ever. But if you go anything below 20, you're going to get too much attention. That's what one tent guy told me. So do you know the percentage of your tent on your windows, you say you had a pickup truck?
I do.
Does it look really dark at night, or is it kind of dark during the day?
Yes.
To you?
Yes.
What you need to do is find out what percentage you think that tent is, and if they tell you, yeah, you've got 15% or 5%, you're probably going to get too much attention from the police.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, and Chad, I appreciate that. I don't want it to, this is not about my truck necessarily. Now, this kind of started the conversation. For me, it's a more broad conversation about the laws applying equally to everyone, and it's a more broad conversation about how we're spending our resources and time and energy in terms of our law enforcement. But that said, I own my frustration about me getting pulled over. I mean, I've had the truck for almost 4 years. I bought the truck like it is. I have no idea what the tent is. I'm not a tent expert, but I did have an expectation, in my opinion, that the legally authorized used car dealership that sold me the car in Hendersonville, Tennessee, was selling me a car that was legally allowed to operate on Tennessee roadways. And they did not tell me otherwise. And I'm a little confused why a car dealership that has to get a business license in good standing with the state of Tennessee and is required to sell vehicles that are only roadworthy sold me a vehicle that apparently wasn't.
Well, they either don't know or they don't care. They just wanted to get the sale, but they probably knew. I mean, a dealership, like a legit dealership, they can only put legally 35% tent on a car that's legal. That's the way it usually works. But they probably knew and they just didn't tell you.
Well, Chad, I mean, I don't know. I appreciate that. Once again, I don't want to return it to a conversation. I mean, it's really not even about me. I just find it interesting that the law currently reads in a certain way. I don't understand why it is permissible currently for a car dealership to sell you a vehicle that is not legally able to operate on Tennessee roadways without fear of you getting a ticket from law enforcement. Number two, and we're going to change that law, by the way, and that's all well and good, right? I mean, that's the impetus behind me bringing this up. Number two, once again, I'm not going to challenge the ticket because I'm going to pay the ticket. If my tent's over the legal limit, I will trust that the officer is correct in that. Number two, I do find it interesting. What I have discovered in the aftermath of this is that for front windows, for the driver's door window and the passenger door window, there is no exception for law enforcement vehicles, yet law enforcement vehicles have tint that is clearly over the legal limit all the time. And I'm just interested in whether or not our General Assembly knows that, whether or not it's something that law enforcement cares about. Do they know that they're violating the law? Because I would suggest that they maybe don't. But there is a subparagraph in the law that specifically says that front windows are not, and it's not front glass, it's door windows are not applicable. In the law, I mean, they swear to uphold the law. The law matters. I mean, and I understand that this is a little thing, but we are already living in a society where our liberal friends think that the law doesn't apply to them at all. They just make it up as they go along. And I regularly go back to, look, the law is what the law is, whether I like it or not. It exists for a reason. And if we want to change it, there is a process by which we change it. And whether that's a small, itty-bitty, teeny-tiny thing like stupid tent, or if it's a huge thing like freedom to assemble or freedom to worship in a manner of our choosing, freedom to speak clearly and openly in a manner of our choosing. All of these things matter. At least they matter to me. Stephen is next up. Hey, Stephen, glad you called. How are you?
Man, I didn't know that tinted windows was going to get such a big deal going today.
I tell you, I mean, there's a lot of attention paid to tint.
Well, I know I got my tinted window. I'm an SUV person, and I got blackouts, man. I've been rolling like that for 30 years, but I love my tints, man. I mean, I appreciate you fighting the good fight for our freedom and trying to make sure you're fighting for our rights is what you're doing. And this guy talking about people with shotguns in the back seat or something, I mean, if you're too paranoid to be a police officer, well, you're going to be walking up on cars all day and taking calls. It don't matter if the windows are tinted or not. If there's a felon crazy enough to do that, it's going to happen, But I mean, maybe it's part of a new deal going where we're profiling, looking for illegals or something. I don't know. I do know that this law does apply in other states and other cities and other counties. I think it's that way in Dallas. But yeah, you can tint your windows to a certain percent, still be legal and get away with it. But who's going to pay for all that? I mean, think of how many people have tinted windows that are going to have to change them now. I mean, is somebody going to pay for that when they change the law? That's the deal with that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the law, I don't know that, I'm not suggesting that the law necessarily change. I mean, I probably could get into that too, but yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be a broken record and repeat myself, but I'll do it one more time. My frustration is not necessarily about the tint law. My frustration is that car dealerships are currently selling vehicles that are illegal to operate on Tennessee roadways. That's what happened to me. Yeah. I bought a vehicle with illegal tint. Nobody told me there was illegal tint. Now I'm out $193.50 4 years later as a result, and it's annoying. I want the law changed to require that at very least, car dealerships have to notify customers if the tint is above the legal limit in Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel safer being in a vehicle with tinted windows anyway, because some of the people are so ugly looking at you from the outside. I don't even want them to see me. Don't look at me, you ugly, dirty person. Get out of here.
I love it.
Stephen, this racetrack deal. I was just gonna, they've been trying to do this for a while. It's these investors and real estate people and all that, and I mean, I'm pretty sure they got plans already written up for it. They probably have models already made for it, and they've been working on getting that changed around for a long time. I just hope that somewhere down around all those storefronts and falafel shops and everything that's going to be there, and whatever affordable housing is supposed to be, because if it's going to be government housing, it's one thing, but if it's what is affordable housing, that's a joke. But as long as they put me somewhere on that strip down there, one of those little genies in the machine that grants me a wish, and every time I walk up to it, it comes true. I'm for it. Until then, I would never sign that.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't sign anything that you don't quite understand, and be careful. What Stephen's talking about, we were discussing it earlier in the day. If someone approaches you at a parking lot in Davidson County and wants you to sign a petition, you don't sign that thing unless you fully understand it. And they are trying to confuse people regarding the petition. It's they say it's Save the Fairgrounds. It's not. It's an attempt to remove racing from the Metro Charter, and it's an effort to take over the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It's 24 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back right after this on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy, and I want to spend a moment talking to you about pests. Pest control is important. And if you don't have a good one, if you don't have anybody, my goodness, you need to get with J.K. and Erica Brister and U.S. Pest. These are fine Americans, and they're great pest control people, right? They hate bugs. I mean, there's not a lot of things that I think J.K. Brister hates. Well, he hates communists. He doesn't care for socialists very much either. He loves the United States of America, hates bugs. But I repeat myself, because bugs are little communists. They want to come in and eat what's yours and take what's yours and enjoy your AC during the summer months. They'll enjoy that heat during the winter months. They'll just take over, lounge about your place. If you let them, don't let them. Call U.S. Pest. Eliminate those bugs. U.S. Pest is simply the best when it comes to bug elimination and termite protection. Give them a call today at 590-1260, 590-1260, or online at uspest.com.
A new outbreak of the parasite that causes explosive diarrhea. We'll tell you about that and other top stories at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
See, Jackson, I told you we weren't going to talk about tent today, didn't I say at the beginning of the show?
And you
promised
meant it.
And I meant it, buddy boy. That's right, Weaver. I meant it, by God. Not talking about it today. The response to this entire topic has been fairly insane. There's about 20% of the audience, including the executive producer of this show, that's begging me to talk about anything else. Anything else. There's another, I don't know how many people out there that are demanding they get their say on the topic. What am I supposed to do, Jackson? What am I supposed to do? Jackson, I'm going to you know what? I'm not afraid of this, Jackson. I'm not afraid of you. Jackson's like, hey, buddy, there's y'all, this is true. I'm going to tell you. Jackson's like, hey, Murph, there's a governor's race going on, buddy. He said that to me during the break. I was like, what? He goes, can we talk about Iran? Tell me you didn't.
With my whole chest.
He's like, hey, friend.
You know it's serious when somebody calls you friend.
Hey, pal. You know, I mean, I'm over here pushing the knobs. You're the content guy, but can we move on there, buddy boy? That's fact.
You've heard the 12 days of Christmas. Now hear the 4 days of tent.
On the fourth day of tenting, Jackson gave to me a demand that we shut this crap down. On the third day of tenting, Jackson gave to me the music that leads directly to the news where Ken Weaver stands directly by.
$5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. A new outbreak of the parasite that is causing explosive diarrhea, Cyclospora, is under investigation by the FDA. So far, 72 illnesses reported with this new outbreak. Officials have not announced where the cases occurred or what food may be involved. That's different from the earlier multi-state outbreak, where investigators linked illnesses to iceberg lettuce and a product recall was issued. Tennessee is among 41 states at risk of losing SNAP benefits. Channel 4's Hunter Hoagland says SNAP benefits might be pulled if errors in the program are not fixed in time.
Mayor Freddie O'Connell is joining hundreds of mayors all across the country, urging Congress to protect food assistance. They sent a letter to lawmakers asking them to reverse recent changes to the SNAP program while keeping those current benefit levels in place. The mayor says timing here is critical. They point to federal data showing food insecurity is now higher than it was during the pandemic. They're also warning about a new federal rule that could penalize states if too many SNAP benefits are paid out incorrectly. Tennessee's error rate was more than 9% last year, which is above that 6% threshold states will have to meet by October 1st of next year. So state officials say if Tennessee fails to meet that requirement, more than 500,000 people could lose grocery assistance, including more than 50,000 people here in Davidson County.
President Trump's expanding a voluntary pledge designed to keep AI-driven data center growth from raising utility bills for everyone. The agreement encourages companies building and operating new data centers to pay that additional power cost they create.
You know, you're going to be building your own data centers and you're going to building your own electric plants. You're essentially becoming a utility like Con Edison in New York, but maybe at a level that nobody's ever seen before, because we've seen some of the plants that they're building are absolutely incredible.
White House officials say nearly 200 additional stakeholders have joined the effort. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Clarksville got a crash on the right shoulder, 24 westbound there at ML King Parkway. That's a 45-minute delay. The stop and go starts at New Hope Road. And that was from that earlier crash involving an overturned semi. We've got a crash over on the East Bank going westbound past Shelby Avenue. In the Belmont area, a crash 440 westbound before Hillsborough Pike. In Madison, a stalled vehicle on the right shoulder 65 northbound past Briley Parkway, Ellington Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
You know, the thing about tent that is too dark is you can't see inside. You know what you can't see inside? You can't see what's happening inside of your body. It's like you got like 100% tint over your body and you can't see what's going on inside of that body. Well, what if I told you that at Craft Body Scan, they can cut through that. They can get inside. They can see what's going on inside. Craft Body Scan is here for you, and they want to figure out what's happening in your body. Now, if you become symptomatic in some way, if something just doesn't feel right, well, get over to Craft Body Scan. You need to get a full body scan, folks. Now, they have those. They also have the couples heart and lung scan that I love telling you about, valued at well over $2,000. And this is just for $99. It's a way to introduce themselves to you, to say hello, and to show you what CT scan technology can do for you. Non-invasive. You don't have to take, I mean, you wear your clothes, you get in there, it's a ring, just a small ring. You go through it on a little, I've done this. So you get put on a table, and then the ring is very small. It's not like a MRI scan or anything like that. It's very easy. It's not claustrophobic, and it works, and it can give you real results. Craft Body Scan can be found at togetherwescan.com, promo code MATT50. Togetherwescan.com, promo code MATT50, or call 615-436-1000. 615-436-1000 for Craft Body Scan. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, I blame, for those of you who are hating on the extended tent discussion, which we were not going to have today and are not going to have today, and I meant it. I meant it.
By golly.
By golly, I meant it, Ken. For those of you frustrated, you know what I blame, Ken?
What's that?
We don't have the TV in here. See, normally I got the TV on hashtag never CNN.
So you're distracted.
And I get mad at them folks about what they're talking about, and I get distracted, and I start talking about that.
What happened to your TV?
My TV?
Yeah.
Like this TV?
Yeah.
This TV hasn't worked for a week and a half.
Mine does.
Your TV's working?
Have you tested yours?
I haven't tested it today.
I believe Brother Mike fixed them all.
When?
This week.
Well, ours has not worked all week. And we got a note saying it wasn't going to be working. I got a green light. Let's see. Hey, Jackson, if this works, no more tent talk. I promise. Let's see. It says, the video signal has been interrupted. Please check the cable connection if the problem. Let me see if I can. Let's go to guide. That's hashtag never CNN. Let's see if the home shopping network will come up. Nope. Status code 225, Jackson. Yours works?
Yeah.
So the damn producers can watch soap operas and I can't keep up with the news?
Yep.
Huh. Well, I guess 10 Talk it is then. Dave and Doc and Tony and Chris and Steve and Lee all want to talk tent. I don't know what to tell y'all except that it's time for Nincompoops in the News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Nincompoops in the News.
I'm also a little annoyed at Nincompoops in the News because Jackson won yesterday, Ken.
Man.
And I don't know what to do about it.
I don't know what are we going to do to beat Brother Jackson?
Is that already a wrapped up week, boys?
I think it is.
No, we didn't have it on Monday.
We didn't have it on Monday. So Jackson's 2-0 can wrap it up today and call it an early week. And the best we can hope for is a tie. That means you're in golf parlance, you're dormy. You're dormy, Jackson. That means that you can't be bested in the regular session. It can only go to rock, paper, scissors for you. All right, so Jackson gets to pick the order. Nincompoops in the News, where we look for those nincompoops all across our community, all across the volunteer state, these 50 states in the United States of America.
Nay, the globe.
Nay, the globe. Jackson, what's our batting order today?
Williams, Weaver, Murphy up the rear.
The problem is, if Jackson keeps winning, I'm never not going to go last because he likes saying that to me.
I know.
It's very frustrating.
Y'all ready?
Yes, Jackson.
Let's go, Brother Jackson.
Naked man arrested in Asheville, North Carolina after attempted home break-ins. A man was arrested in Asheville after multiple reports said he repeatedly walked around naked and tried to break into residences, police said. Shortly after midnight on Monday, July 20th, officers with the Asheville Police Department responded to the Deer Lake Drive area of South Asheville to investigate an incident of indecent exposure. When officers arrived, they located and arrested a man walking around naked. He was later identified as 58-year-old Raymond Stephen Young. According to police, his arrest came after several months of similar reports related to indecent exposure. Authorities say additional charges are expected as detectives continue their investigation. Young was booked into the Buncombe County Detention Facility under no bond as he is ineligible for release. He faces the following charges: attempted first-degree burglary, 2 counts, secret peeping, indecent exposure, and second-degree trespassing.
What?
Secret peeping?
Listen, I think that's superfluous. I mean, because
look at this fella's beard. That's why I compared him to Ken. Ken, look at this fella's beard.
Son of a biscuit.
Is that a good beard, Ken? I can't see it.
It's a pretty good beard.
When's the last time you were peeping and it wasn't secret? I mean, isn't the very definition of peeping it's secret?
Is that the only reason it's illegal?
I mean, I feel like if you're peeping and it's not secret, then you're just looking.
No, sir, Your Honor. He was secret peeping.
Sir, Your Honor, this man's a liar. I was just peeping. I wasn't secret.
No secret.
I wasn't secret peeping.
It was no secret because he caught me.
Yeah, I told everybody about it. I said, looky loo. I see you. Well, that's a good nincompoop, Jackson.
That's the way to go, Brother
That's
Jackson.
the way to go. I think Ken's got you beat today. Ken?
I do. This here's out of Lebanon.
Ooh, local nincompoop.
Channel 4. says a woman was accused of exposing herself during a traffic stop in Lebanon. On Tuesday night, officers conducted a traffic stop after seeing a passenger not wearing her seatbelt. See that? During the traffic stop, Canine Donner alerted officers to the possible presence of narcotics in the vehicle. During the investigation, the 66-year-old passenger was removed from the vehicle and reportedly began to expose herself to passing drivers on 109. As the investigation continued, police said officers found what's suspected to be cocaine and drug paraphernalia on both the woman and the 68-year-old male driver. Both the man and the woman were arrested without incident and charged with multiple offenses. Lebanon PD is quoted as saying, "Great work by Canine Donner and our D-shift officers for their continued commitment to keeping our community safe from the nakeds."
That's the way to go, Donner. That's the way to get them.
Piece.
You know, the only thing that would make that story better is, if there'd also been a tent charge. It would have been a perfect nincompoop.
It would have.
That's a good one. Portland, Oregon is our destination today for the Matt Murphy portion of Nincompoops in the
This
news.
could be a good one.
Portland, Oregon. Here's the headline. Heated meeting features Portland councilors arguing over whether or not Mayor Wilson is their daddy.
What?
While councilors eventually... Jackson turns his mic off, Ken, intentionally because he doesn't want to giggle during our
He
stories.
don't want to give you a chance.
So he likes it when we giggle during his stories, but he turns his damn mic off so he doesn't happen to let out a little giggle during our stories for fear that the people will giggle along and vote for us. That's what he's doing, Ken.
It's strategery.
Subsequently, he is eliminated. I couldn't figure out that. I was going to say banished, but I don't know. Anyway, while councilors eventually agreed to restore millions of dollars and save dozens of jobs, the Portland City Council meeting featured some tense moments in the wake of Mayor Keith Wilson casting his first ever tie-breaking vote. There was a divide within the 12 Portland County city councilors. Why would you have 12? Why would you do that to yourself? Why wouldn't you have 9 or 13? Or 11, an odd number so you don't have ties, you dummies.
It's Portland.
It's Portland. 12 city councilors Wednesday when it came to deciding on how to restore jobs and money from the recently adopted city budget. The two groups offered different proposals. Progressive councilors, liberals, were pushing to use interest from the Clean Energy Fund, while moderates, liberals, wanted access to unused money that's meant for future police accountability board, also known as the Office of Community Police Accountability. But I hope that the administration, that you're listening to us loud and clear, that we will come for you in ways that you've never been come for before if you touch the OCPA. That's the Office of Community Police Accountability. Because that wasn't the legislative intent of this. Councilor Loretta Smith responded, "Council President, is that a threat?" And Councilor Angelita Murillo said, "Yes, politically." Smith shot back. "When you say you're going to come for somebody, what do you mean, ma'am? Say what you mean. This is not appropriate." Councilor Smith, I'm sorry, you don't understand metaphors. The argument descended after that. People screaming, "Colleagues, please, can we turn the temperature down?" While Wilson can't normally vote on council matters, this procedural vote allowed him to break the tie. Smith attempted to interrupt by saying, "Why are we impugning folks?" Because Murillo had said, "I think it's really wild that we as a council don't close this deal over 0.05% of our total budget that we have to call daddy in, and the city of Portland comes in to break the tie for us." Smith said, "Why are we impugning folks? Who you calling daddy?" Murillo responded, "He's your daddy. He ain't my daddy." Smith said, "I got a daddy." These are grown-ass people.
That's hippie violence.
These are grown people that have been elected. Portland, y'all, Portland sucks and all. That's not a small city.
No.
It's a big city.
No. If you've ever seen that Fred Armisen
so
series,
good,
Portlandia,
kid. It's so good,
that
kid.
is exactly what Portland, Oregon is like.
I've never been. Have you? Is it?
I've never been
so
there,
good.
but we've got friends from there, and my wife has been there, and that is exactly what it's like.
It's so good. is so good. Am I late? Are we late? Oh, Jackson has decided that it's time to wrap up Nincompoops in the News.
Well, you finished your story.
Well, I was done. Despite the disagreements, councilors passed an ordinance that saved 30 city jobs and overspent by $4.5 million toward the police training programs. And there you go. Who's your daddy in Portland, Oregon?
Weaver.
Vote Murphy.
Vote Williams.
A 66-year-old woman exposing herself to people on 109 in Lebanon.
Portland, Oregon liberals. Who's your daddy? You my daddy? He's your daddy. You calling in daddy? He ain't my daddy. I got a daddy. 615-737-9986. That's how we do it. Back to your calls. Hey, look, all the tent calls are still there. These folks are excited to talk tent. We're doing it next on Super Talk.
In Portland, daddy is referred to as they.
Hey, Chris just wrote in and said Murphy is Truffle Butter's daddy. By the way, I didn't say that. And I don't know who he's talking about. You get a lot of nicknames. Truffle Butter's not one of them. Hey, friends, let's talk for a moment about Eurofix. I'm sure that when your European automobile goes down, the propensity is, the tendency is to take it to the dealership. And I understand that. And Aaron Stokes understood that years ago. But Aaron Stokes said, what if I created a dynamic? What if I created a shop? What if I created a company that does valuable work better than the dealership at below dealer pricing, where you feel comfortable with service areas that are spotless, with waiting areas that are as clean as can be? Eurofix does all of these things and so much more. A 15-minute no-wrench inspection so you know exactly what's going on with your vehicle. A 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty so you know you can trust the repairs that they have performed. Eurofix fixes everything European. Eurofix wants to fix your car as well. A rental car is available with every appointment. They have locations near you in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. Call 844-EUROFIX, 844-EUROFIX, or visit online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Beckman Dry Eye Institute, one of the newer sponsors of the Matt Murphy Show, and we're so proud to have Dr. Catherine Beckman and her team on the program with us. Ocular surface disease. Does that ring a bell to you? It did not to me when I visited the Beckman Dry Eye Institute. Located in Cool Springs, Catherine's clinic is unlike anything I've ever experienced. She doesn't do, annual eye exams. She doesn't do contact lenses or treat patients for glasses and whatnot. What she does is very specific, but it's something that affects 1 in 8 Americans. It's dry eyes, and dry eyes can be caused by ocular surface disease. There are other factors as well. Whatever the cause for you, the Beckman Dry Eye Institute gets to the root of your dry eyes and the irritation that it causes. In other words, instead of, dealing with the symptoms, instead of the eye drops or whatever it might be, because for some people this is debilitating, others it might be just a nuisance, but she gets down to the root of it and helps solve the issue. The largest variety of high-tech instruments and diagnostics in Middle Tennessee is right there at the Beckman Dry Eye Institute. And I want you to get relief. Make a call and ask a few questions. I don't know your situation, but Dr. Beckman can analyze and specifically develop a plan just for you. 629-230-3161, 230-3161, or online at beckmandryeyeinstitute.com.
The FDA has opened a new investigation into another cyclosporiasis outbreak. We'll tell you about this one coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm worried about Jackson.
Why, you think, is he losing this one?
Well, he seems grumpy, and I just, one person said, my vote's for Ken. I think I know that chick. And then I got another one that says, I vote for Weaver. This is Joey Logano.
Yay!
Which I think is awesome because they listen long enough. They know that you've late to the party just jumped on the Denny Hamlin bandwagon and you are obviously anti-Joey.
I did decide very early on that I did not like Joey Logano, and I told you that.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
See, we can agree on that.
I can respect the Hamlin. I mean, if you're going to jump on, might as well jump. But what I respect is while you started liking Denny because specifically you knew that I hated him, that's fine. But you also picked a newbie. And
well, yeah, because Denny's going to retire.
Well, that's right. And young Carson's going to be good for a long time. I can promise you that. Plus, he rides around in that Chili's car.
He'll be better than that Chase Elliott ever was.
What about that old boy we interviewed?
Oh, yeah, Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
Chastain's having a tough year,
Yeah,
Ken.
tough year.
Yeah, he's a good driver and he's a good guy, but
he's got a good car. It's just
he's having a tough year.
That's too bad.
He's a good
nice fella.
Yeah, he is a nice fella. Little fella. A lot of those race car drivers, little fellas.
Well, you got to be.
Hey, remember when we met that Dawson Sutton?
Yeah.
Truck Series? He's a little fella. I mean, is that fair? That's fair. We call Ken a little fella.
Am I as tall as they are?
There's some of them that are around your height, Ken.
So they're probably a little bit taller.
And, most of them are just about as big around as a beanpole.
Logano seems pretty tall.
He is.
You would probably only be able to see the top of my head in a NASCAR.
No, I think you'd fit pretty well, Ken.
I think you'd fit good. But I'm imagining Ken with the grandma steering wheel.
With my beard flowing.
Your beard going out the window. We'll give you some big old Coke bottle glasses. And just for your car, Ken, we'll give you a blinker. Blink, 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 blink. And it's all and you're not even blinking to the left. You're blinking to the right.
And it's always on.
And it's always on. Blink, 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 blink.
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all, these folks won't let me over.
You know
it's
what
just
I do
like 24.
I like that they are in the sport of driving. They're still flipping each other off.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, they get so mad. NASCAR is not midget racing. Well, nobody said that it was. Now, come on.
So has there been any fist fights or anything like that this season?
No, not this year. There were a couple of altercations last year. They've been pretty calm this year.
Yeah.
But there have been a few dust ups in terms of a little bad blood. Hocevar has created bad blood amongst a couple of drivers because Hocevar doesn't care, man. Which is what I kind of like about him. All right. One or two real quick, and then we'll get back to the phone calls after the top of the hour news. Oh, I'm so sorry. Dave, you're up next. Lee, I jumped you, and I'm sorry about that. I'll try to get back to you. Dave, go ahead.
Hey, man, I feel bad for Jackson.
Why you feel bad?
Normally, well, I've called in numerous times, and he's always upbeat, chipper, and everything. But, they get, what's your name? What do you call it about? As soon as I said tent, he didn't sigh, but I knew he wanted to. It was almost like, well, of course you do. But, hey, for real, though, you need to call that dealership. What did you say, Hendersonville?
Yeah.
You need to call that dealership, and you need to tell them you got $140 in a crayon. You'll see them in court.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to do it. I mean, they sold me an illegal vehicle. Dave, I'm sorry to do it, but I got to run real quick. I'll get to Doc and to Tony and to Steve and to Lee. Not in that order. Lee, you'll actually be first. You've held a long time. Tony, you too. Y'all hang in there. It's Super Talk 99.7 W10, final hour on this Thursday edition.
Six o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes, and the FDA has opened a new investigation into a cyclosporiasis outbreak affecting at least 72 people. Unlike this previous outbreak we've been reporting, tied to contaminated iceberg lettuce, giving people explosive diarrhea, this one remains a mystery with no specific food identified. Cyclospora commonly spread through contaminated produce or water. Federal officials say more information will be released as this investigation into the new case continues. A 12-year-old boy in Nashville recovering after a bullet went through his family's apartment last night. Witnesses say there was a fight in the parking lot of the Knoll Crest Apartments in North Nashville where a woman tells Channel 4 she heard 30 shots.
I was in the window and I just heard shots. I got down. I told my daughter to get back in the house, made sure my grandkids was all right. I feel bad for the child. It's trauma for the child. Like, he innocent, in the house minding his own business, and have to deal with this for the rest of his life.
After the shots were fired, several people jumped into the cars and drove off. Police are looking for surveillance, or rather through surveillance video, trying to identify all those involved. President Trump touting his latest initiative, he says, would kickstart the construction of AI data centers without passing on utility costs to consumers. At the Department of Energy today, the president said his plan urges tech companies to pay for and generate their own electricity.
The American innovators and consumers thrive to win together because we're insisting that AI data centers and big tech companies pay their own way, and that's what they're doing, and they're happy to do it because this way they're going to be able to function brilliantly. They're going to have a lot of electricity left over, and they'll put that into the grid.
Well, you got critics questioning whether the pledge alone can prevent future rate increases. In our nation's capital, a Democratic-led effort to rein in presidential war powers regarding Iran fell short in the Senate today. Senators voted 49-47 against advancing the measure. A similar measure had passed the House after 4 Republicans sided with Democrats. They were Thomas Massey, Brian Fitzpatrick, Warren Davidson, and Tom Barrett. Well, when the time comes, sometimes you have no choice. ABC Sherry Preston with more on the unconventional birth that took place recently in New Jersey.
What's it feel like when you deliver a baby? And are there any surprises?
I would say how slippery the baby was.
Yeah.
A lot of fluids on it. Wasn't expecting that with the rubber gloves.
Berlin Borough Police Officer Dominic Hudson, who helped Taylor Durham give birth in the parking lot of a Wawa convenience store.
It was a little nerve-wracking. I don't have any children, never delivered a baby, so I didn't know what to expect.
The birth actually took place in the parking lot on July 6th. Mom and police officer and baby were all reunited this week. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. The Gulch got a crash to Mumbrian just west of I-40. Vandy area, 21st Avenue North at West End. In Clarksville, a crash, right shoulder block, 24 westbound at MLK Parkway. Then we've got 40 eastbound before Fessler's Lane. In Bellevue, a crash, Highway 100 at Temple Road. In Hendersonville, a crash. It is a vehicle versus a deer. Long Hollow Pike west of New Shackle Island Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is Matt Murphy, the Matt Murphy Show. Thank you for being with us. Final hour of the broadcast. Flock cameras was on my agenda. I also wanted to update you on the deal in Iran. Obviously, we've got a lot of calls to get to, and you get to talk about whatever you choose when you call this radio show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Thursday edition in progress, and we appreciate all of you for being a part of the show. Jackson, I've not tallied the vote, but it looks like Ken Weaver's in the lead. Is he in the lead on the YouTube vote?
No.
I've not done an official tally, but just a cursory examination indicates to me that the local nature of the naked story is outpacing either your or mine. But that's fair competition.
I won.
And when we run you as governor, it's going to wear you out. It's going to wear you out. And you're running for governor. Governor Gravitas. Fair?
Fair. You're winning the YouTube poll.
And I'll get it tallied up and we'll let you know. Jackson, of course, has won twice this week. Jackson, that's not enough for him. Jackson wants to win all of the nincompoops in the news, and then eventually he wants to retire the category because he wins so much and everybody goes, you've won too much. That's what Jackson wants. At least one Saudi oil tanker has been attacked in the Red Sea, widening the risk of energy supplies already disrupted by a halt to shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The price of Brent crude, which is the international benchmark, rose to $100 a barrel earlier today for the first time since May, an increase of about 40% in this month alone. The violence is raising fears of a greater supply disruption. The Houthis, an Iranian-aligned militant group in Yemen, said they attacked 2 vessels to enforce the maritime blockade they announced Monday against Saudi Arabia. President Donald Trump said today, that the U.S. would hold Iran responsible for any future attack carried out by the Houthis following the targeting of Saudi ships. Major military punishment will be inflicted upon Iran and, of course, the Houthis themselves, who I'm very disappointed in that they have until now acted very professionally and smart. This is a time when the axis of resistance as a whole is at its strongest leverage point probably in history. Oil markets are already out of control, said Brent Erickson, a managing principal at an advisory firm specializing in monitoring oil shipments in the region. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told reporters earlier today that the Houthis were making a mistake by menacing ships in the Red Sea and joining the fight in the Middle East on behalf of Iran. So he said, I hope that they'll stop. They got suckered into this by the Iranians. So it's not good news on the American front because oil pricing going up is going to increase gasoline prices. Gasoline prices going up is going to increase the price of everything. Everything that you own, everything that you have, almost everything that you possess materially in your life came on a truck in some form or fashion before it came to you. Or a car. Maybe a train, but I doubt you picked it up at the train station. Point being is that everything in America is impacted by gasoline prices. And petroleum, generally speaking. So this does not bode well for a swift and speedy conclusion to what has already been a lengthy, extended conflict in the Middle East. That is your Iranian report, just for you, Jackson, on Super Talk 99.7 WT. And now back to Tent. Hello, Lee.
Hey.
What's going on? Thank you for your patience, Lee. I appreciate you. I'm trying my best.
I've been on the host. No, I was going to be like Scott and say how long I've been on the host. Anyway,
it's been a long time, Lee. I owe you a bottle of water and an ink pen used by me.
Or a Keystone Light or something like that. I liked it when you said a while ago about who that guy that was getting all up in your stuff. Don't go away mad, because that's what me and my second wife said 30 years ago Sunday. Don't never go to bed mad. Don't, settle the argument before you go to bed.
Yeah, my grandpa always said that. Don't go to bed angry.
Don't go to bed mad. And we got married 30 years ago, and on our anniversary, after we got married, we went to Talladega, watched the race, and then 30 years Sunday, we're going to Indianapolis to watch the race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the only but I have is, are they making you pay to replace the tent plus a fine? Or is the car lot going to, I understand why you're mad, but, I also understand why a police officer wears a mask in a nice situation. But, you got to pay to get rid of it and a fine, or once you
No,
pay the fine, you're good?
the only thing that I'm required to do is to pay the ticket, $193.50. I'm not required to demonstrate proof that I've removed the tent, although it was told to me that I could demonstrate that I've removed the tent or corrected the over-tenting, and that the judge might, based on that, dismiss the fine.
Or you pay the $192 and maybe get another ticket, right? Maybe.
I mean, I bought the truck almost 4 years ago in Tennessee. So
I totally understand.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the likelihood of me removing that tent is very small.
Right. So, but you shouldn't be responsible. I think I don't know who made promote. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say names, but I know some of the dealers in Hendersonville, Gallatin area. But
I mean, I don't know that I'm necessarily blaming or not blaming the dealership itself. I don't know that it's against the law for them to sell a vehicle with illegal tint on it. But once again, that's a point that we made a couple of days ago. Tony is next up. Hey, Tony, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm glad you called, and I'm glad you held, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you the great Matt Murphy. I'll put you right up there next to the great Dan Mathis. Is that all right?
No, I don't deserve it. Tony, you can put me anywhere you want to put me, and I don't, even if I don't deserve it.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah, on the tent thing, I went to work one day. Me and my wife, we just got married. We've been married maybe for 2 years. You know, when you young, got 3 kids, money tight, and we needed a car. And so they came, Capital Chevrolet came out with a deal where you could get a car, for a deal. And when I came home, we had a brand new 79 Chevy Chevette. You remember them cars?
Oh, yeah.
So, when you're young, your mind is always set up to fix up your vehicle some kind of way. You want to put your stamp on it. So I went and had tint put on it, and it was limo tint, and put some Krager rims on there. And back then, when it first started, because I believe, it first started getting popular somewhere along in that area. That's 46 years ago. And the police would pull you over when he seen what was in there and you weren't doing nothing, you go on. But then they started to where that you had to have a letter from the tent company saying that it was legal. Even though it might not be legal, but as long as you had that letter, I think they kind of took them off the hook. And now, 46 years later, every one of my vehicles got limo tint on it. But I think the reason why they don't stop us is because our personal vehicles, our cars, they got our names on it. And then the other ones is my work trucks. So they know ain't nobody doing nothing. But now as far as the racetrack is part of my history. When I was a little boy, and I really hate to say this, but it was true, my mama was going with this guy, and he was a bootlegger.
Okay.
And guess where we was at when there was races in town? At the racetrack. I got to see some great race car drivers, like Fireball Roberts. I even got to see, in his later years, Wendell Scott came out there. You see, all that is part of our history. And the way I see it is, what's driving all this stuff is all these people that's migrating in here from the north and the west. And if you look at the city, they are trying to convert this into something that they came from. Now,
well, that's right. I mean, yeah, they're trying to take it away from the old school folks. Tony, can I go back to something you said? And I need a moment of clarity. Okay.
Right.
You said you had Krager rims.
Right.
And limo tint.
That's right.
On a 1979 Chevy Chevette.
Yeah, and I blacked it out because the car was black.
Was it a hatch? Was it a hatchback?
No. I ain't never bought no hatch.
Okay.
But now, the back thing back there, it was a hatch. It lit up.
Okay.
But see, the car was black. I blacked it out. I mean, it was a beautiful car, man, because I was one of them kind of guys, man. I kept that car so shiny, man, you could see the hairs on your face in it.
Let me tell you, I would do anything in this world for a photograph of this car. The image that I have in my mind. What? So you blacked it out. Was it black? What color?
Yeah, the car was black itself. I mean, people would drive by, man. I'm gonna tell you, the car was so shiny. Because anytime people don't like black cars, because you really got to rub on them to keep them clean.
That's right.
Because back then I didn't use no liquid wax. I used the paste, the McGuire's paste. You really had to do some elbowing to put it on there.
Did it have the original engine in that Chevette? Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got? I just looked this up, Tony.
Yeah.
According to Motor Matchup, you got the Chevette would go to 0 to 60. How long you think it'd take it to go to 0 to 60?
Oh, hell, I don't know. The only thing that scared me about that. Man, the only thing that scared me in that car is when I got on the interstate. It wouldn't get up to speed real quick. No matter, like a 4-barrel, you hit it, it's gonna go woo.
Tony. This article says that it got 0 to 60 in 14.5 seconds.
you can't prove that about me, brother. Because every time I got on the interstate, man, I jumped out there. I was scared I was going to get run over by a tractor trailer because it took so long to get up to speed.
Amen. I love it. I owned the first automobile that I owned. I just have such a soft spot in my heart for that Chevette. I owned a 1980 Chevrolet Monza, Monza. It was, It was a hatchback, similar in style and nature to the Chevette.
Right.
And it was a hunk of junk, and I loved it, Tony. Loved it.
But let me tell you, that was my dream, man, to be a race car driver, round track. Back then, it wasn't NASCAR; it was Busch Grand National.
Yes, sir.
And the closest I could get to it was drag racing. And I'm 74 years old, and I still got a 4-second dough car. So I just can't give it up. But no, that's part of my history out there, man. If it's something I can help to do to keep it going, but see, it's those people that's moving in from other states trying to get away from all the stuff that they got back there. Now they come here and trying to convert our city and what they left. Just like bike lanes and all these passive things sticking up. Man, it's so ridiculous. Oh, man. And how often do you see somebody riding a bicycle?
Well, I mean, I don't see it very often anymore. Hey, Tony, we're going to save that racetrack somehow, by hook or by crook, with your help.
I hope so, man.
Just keep listening and keep on trucking and keep on calling, brother.
All right, man. Look at y'all. Keep on going. Y'all the only people that I can call, and I can argue with y'all, and I don't get smacked.
Tony, take it easy, brother. I got to go. 22 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Well, I've got to respond to this before I start talking about Genesis Diamonds, which I'm about to do. Yes, I know, and no, my grandpa wouldn't let me. I've told the story before. The Chevy Monza could fit a V8 in it. Mine had a 4-cylinder, and he wouldn't let me put the V8 in it because he was worried about me drag racing. He was worried about me drag racing, guys. Imagine that. And and just after Tony's call. All right, imagine this. You have a special occasion coming up. Maybe it's a birthday, an anniversary. Perhaps you have an engagement that you're thinking about. Genesis Diamonds is the place to go. Have you heard that a lot of corporate stores are closing down? Well, it is the fact that smart shoppers have figured out that cookie-cutter jewelry is boring, mediocre service is unacceptable. Genesis Diamonds is thriving as a result because Genesis locally owned. Genesis believes in staffing with real experts, and they do not commission those experts. That means that there's no pressure tactics on you. You can take a leisurely amount of time, figure out the right selection for you within your budget, and buy accordingly. Genesis Diamonds, they're not a Wall Street corporate box store. There's as far away from that as you can get. You'll love the laid-back fun experience at Genesis. Genesis Diamonds, they have my recommendation. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Don't miss Genesis Diamonds this summer for all of the best deals. There's only one. Genesis Diamonds. Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Pain is bad, right? I mean, we agree on that. If you have pain in your hips, in your back, in your knees, in your elbows, wherever it might hurt, pain is no good. That is why the Wellness Institute of Nashville wants to eliminate it. That's why their website is painisbad.com. Painisbad.com. For your epic spinal special, all you need to do is mention me, Matt Murphy, and you get $33 off every visit. You don't really have to mention me, but I would encourage you to do so. Secondly, they've got the most modern techniques available. Spinal decompression, sure. E-stim, they've got it. Obviously, Medical Bay 1, developed by Dr. Mitchell and his team. They are so good at what they do. We love Wellness Institute of Nashville on this show because they help alleviate pain naturally, without pills, without surgery, without needles, without downtime. That's what it's all about. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or online at painisbad.com. You know, Ken gets busy in the latter portion of the day, winding down the news. So maybe Jackson, don't turn his microphone on. He's going to do the news. That's fine. But do you fear that Ken is getting corporatized? You know why?
Why?
He's calling it by that fancy word now.
What did we say we were going to call it?
Explosive diarrhea.
No, the other thing.
What? I can't remember the other thing.
Something.
Oh, what was it? Oh, it was a good one. Oh, it was something like the poopy lettuce. I can't remember what it was. Somebody, it was a call. A caller recommended.
The word was ass.
Yes. Yes, that was the last word. There was another word to begin with. There was an adjective.
Blasty ass.
Blasty ass. There you go, Williams. Hey, he's not the best executive producer in the business for nothing, folks. That's a good recall right there. 28 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Several of you mentioned, yes, I've told the story in the past. We got the Monza. I saved $400. I paid $400 for a 1980 Chevrolet Monza that the engine was blown up in it. And my grandpa was a mechanic all of his working life. He worked on heavy equipment, log equipment, skidders, grassing equipment, big heavy machinery, bulldozers and the like. But he obviously had a mastery of the automobile, anything engine oriented. My brother has a mastery of it too. And I am proud of the basic knowledge that I received about automobile repair from my grandfather, and I am pleased that I've carried that all of my adult life, but I don't pretend to have the gift that my grandpa certainly had and that my brother had. I didn't have the patience for it, but Pa promised me if I saved up the money that he would, and I think he actually eventually floated the last $200. I saved a certain amount of money. Anyway, we got the car, and he said, I'll pay for the parts to rebuild the engine, and we'll rebuild the engine together, and I'll pay for the to rebuild the transmission. Well, in the meantime, I learned, and I was 15, right? I learned that you could put a V8 in the thing, and I tried to convince him to do it, and I had him convinced, and we had a V8 engine at Danny Pilgrim's garage, and I've told this story in the past. I will never forgive Danny Pilgrim for this. I heard him do it. He said, Cecil, he said, well, Danny, a V8 will go in there, won't it? And he said, yes, Cecil, but I don't think you'll want him to do that. He's going to rip that rear end out of it. And he said, I don't know that you want him going as fast as this thing's going to go. And I'm like, Danny, will you shut your mouth? I think to myself. But, Mr. Danny was older. He's like 30. Anyway, I didn't get my V8. I had the puny old four-cylinder. But Pa knew I was disappointed about it, so he did it was 4 on the floor. And he did replace my stick shift. He replaced my shifter with I had a 1 ball, not an 8 ball. I had a 1 ball. He dyed it out and put it on there for me. And what I wouldn't do for that 1 ball today, y'all know how it goes, right? I never took it off. Steve, we'll get to you, Doc, and Nathaniel, you as well. Hang in there, and we'll get to all of your calls coming up next. I know you've held for a long time, fellas. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I owe a call to Jeff Eddy in Efficient Heating and Cooling. I want to ask him about a little bit of condensation that's happening around one of the registers on my walls and what might be causing that. And I know my man will be able to give me an answer for it because he's got an answer for just about everything. Jeff Eddy installed and replaced the 5-ton unit that I have in my home just after I moved in. It was a sad news that he gave me, but it was news that I needed to hear. It was not operating properly. I was a little bit confused as to why. And it's fine. I mean, it's all well and good. I understand, you buy a used house, you get used equipment. And Jeff said, we're going to try to repair it. They got me through the ice storm, which was amazing. We managed to get through the ice storm. But then eventually we realized we had a cracked heater body that was causing a disruption in gas flow. And we had to get it replaced. That's the thing about Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. When they tell you the AC's ready to go, then you know that it's ready to go. That could be a positive. Ready to go, A-OK, and we're charging you less than you thought, less than the big box stores, less than the big guys. Or ready to go in terms of, hey, you know what? This thing is ready to be done, and it's time for a new unit. When that comes, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can help you. EfficientHVAC.net, EfficientHVAC.net, or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424. Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. Are you frustrated with your current insurance situation? There are several places that you might be. Number one, self-employed and very frustrated about the costs. Number two, uninsured and not sure what you can do, if anything. Number three, just frustrated with the lack of coverage that you have and the lack of response you're getting from anyone at the insurance companies. It's time to call Shane Ring if you're in any of these situations or if you have any questions about your health insurance. Shane is your personal healthcare concierge. He is as knowledgeable as anyone I've ever met about health insurance. He understands all of the programs available to you. There's roughly 75 different programs at his fingertips that he can access through Cover Nash. He does not work for an insurance company. He works for you. That is the primary difference between Shane and every other person you speak to in this industry. Shane is going to get you the best deal possible for you and your family at the lowest cost point with the benefits that you need and that you deserve. That's what it's all about. At Cover Nash, they want health coverage managed by you on your terms, not the government's. 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online, covernash.com. I think Jackson's at a point in the proceedings. By the way, it's the Matt Murphy Show. My name is Matt Murphy, and I thank you for being here. Our talk television side of things is always brought to you by our friends at U.S. Pest. You can see that on the screen. Thank you to U.S. Pest and all those that gang over there. You can find us on Talk Television, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. You can also find us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, our own app, Supertalk 99.7 W10. Take us wherever you go on those digital platforms. Of course, on the radio dial at 99.7 FM. You can also find me, and I invite you to be a part of the conversation in the 20 hours that we're not on air, at Matt Murphy Show. I'm mostly on the Twitter machine because the Twitter machine is a cesspool full of awful people saying awful things about awful subjects. And I love it. At Matt Murphy Show. Follow me. I'm much jerkier online. That said, Jackson is trying to, I think he's baiting me. And he's a master at it. You, sir, are a master baiter. Because I walked into the room while Ken Weaver was doing his newscast. Y'all don't get it. I'm not trying to say that to be nasty. I'm saying it because it's true. Because I walked in there and I said, Jackson, I forget what exactly I said. It was something about tent. And Jackson said, just out of the blue, you know, I think I hate Chase Elliott. Isn't that what you said?
We were talking about Denny Hamlin.
I called him by the name that I call him when we're not on the air, that I can't I don't know that I can justify calling him the other name on the radio. I don't call him Denny, I call him something else, and the last name is Handelin, not Hamlin. Handelin. Yeah, and you said that you hated Chase Elliott. And I'm like, Jackson, it is one thing to pick as your favorite driver the driver that you know I hate more than any other driver. That's one thing. That's fine. You jump on that bandwagon when he's having his best year of his career, possibly with the exception of last year when he almost won his championship. That's fine. But now you're coming after me and mine? What are you doing over there?
Sorry, I don't recognize fake champions.
What do you mean fake? Denny has won none. You're aware of that. No championships. Chase Elliott has a championship.
This is a COVID one.
It's 2020. Legit. That's legit.
Was there a break in the season?
There weren't any fans. I forget if there was. I don't know if there was the right number of races or not. Hey, they hand out a trophy, Jackson. They hand out a trophy. They handed out a trophy. I don't see LeBron James claiming that he didn't win his championship in 2020 in the bubble.
He doesn't, but a lot of people do.
Whatever. You jelly. You 11 fans.
We're coming for you this year.
Eternally jelly. Steve is next up. Steve, thank you. God bless you for your patience. You just beat out Doc by about a minute, believe it or not. Doc's been holding for a long time, too. So I'm going to get out of the way and let you talk, Steve.
Yeah, all I wanted to say was I wasn't actually calling about tint. I talked to the producer. He said, what do you want to talk about? I said, dealerships. And then he just said, hold on. So the license plate borders that advertise for them, those are against the law, too. You can't have any foreign objects on top of your license plate. I'm a former cop. So watch out for that, too. You get pulled over for that. But since we're on the window tint, it's up to the driver to know the law. So they're not obligated to tell you that their window tint is against the law. So you're probably not going to have much of a lawsuit. But I think it's total BS, and I wish they would be held accountable. And as many times as that I've pulled people over for this, I've never once, not ever issued a citation, always a warning. Because every time I've ever pulled over anybody for a license plate border or window tint, I've always been trying to get in that vehicle for something else. That statute is a reason to get in the car looking for dope or something else.
And Steve, and you know what? I fully expected that, and I've told the story more times than people want to hear because we have a lot of people that want me to move on from the subject, and that's fine. But I fully expect. I mean, he did. I mean, he kind of looked in the vehicle and he saw nothing of note, and I expected a warning. And most law enforcement officers that I've spoken with about this, and I know a lot of LEOs, I know a lot of officers that have reached out to me, and they said that's a warning offense. That's not a ticket offense. But I got a ticket, so it is what it is. And the tent's over the limit. If it's over the limit, I'll pay the fine and I'll move on.
Well, no, the reason I called was because I wanted everybody to know, honestly, it was the license plate borders. It wasn't about window tint. That was not the reason for my call.
No, that's fine.
The license plate borders was the listeners need to know, because they walk out of a dealership and they have no idea that their advertisement is a reason to get pulled over, and that is what I think is total BS.
Steve, great call, great point, and I had no idea. I guess anything that covers the edge that potentially covers the county that you are licensed in could potentially create a problem. You know, it's too late in the day for me to go off on my anti-license plate screed, but I'm beginning to wonder why we have license plates at all. Yes, I'm a little bit crazy. Sure. 615-737-9986. Doc is next. Thank you for your patience, Doc. God bless you, sir. The floor is yours.
Well, I just have I hope, a sensible comment on the tent. Now, earlier, when the fellow spoke about why the police could have them and why we couldn't, I feel a little differently of opinion than what he has. I'm a 77-year-old guy that's fighting 2 different kinds of skin cancer. I asked my dermatologist, said, hey, how come it's only on the left side of my face and arm? He said, were you ever a professional truck driver, cab driver, a police officer? Were you ever, a cab driver, anybody that drove your car for a living? I said, well, yeah, most of my life. He said, well, the sun comes in that left side of your car. There's a good chance that that's how you got this. And he said he treats a lot of policemen, he treats a lot of cab drivers, truck drivers, and people that drive, and theirs is all on the left side. Now, my simple comment is this. When a police officer, when they graduate and they're sworn in to protect and serve, and any tool that they can have that's going to help them protect and serve, I don't have an issue with it. I do have an issue with them finding me for it, which is, there again, it's their job. But at any given time, any police officer, when they get in that car, they spend their whole day inside of that car. That's their office for their shift. Some of them drive between 200 and 500 miles a day, depending on county and state police. They put a lot of miles on a day, and they're susceptible to the sun coming through that driver's window. Now, I'm not saying that, a driver's window, sun coming through the window is what causes it, but I am saying that that's what my dermatologist asked me and told me that he serves an awful lot of people with that same thing. And I just wanted to say that if it makes their job any easier for them to be just a little bit more comfortable for the time that they spend in those cars, because any one of them could forfeit their life for you and me at any given day. So if they want to have tinted windows, which the policemen aren't the ones that put the tinted windows in them, so, I mean, it's not on them, but that's pretty much all I had to say.
I mean, I don't disagree with you at all, Doc. Contrary to the belief of some previous callers that suggested that I'm anti-police, I'm not anti-police. Secondarily, I do believe that the police should have to abide by the same rule of law that I do. I do not believe that, obviously there are exceptions within their work as police officers. We empower them, and we create carve-outs within the law that give them the opportunity to do certain things that we cannot do in the furtherance of their duty to protect and to serve. Y'all with me so far? But there is not a carve-out. I'm just pointing out that LEOs around the state are doing things they're not supposed to do. They're putting limo-grade tint on the front of their cars, and they're not supposed to. And I just became aware of this yesterday. So my frustration is not with the officers. I don't have a problem with that. I just want the law to apply as it is written, and currently there is no exception for front windows, driver's side or passenger side. It specifically states, it says The restrictions of this subsection do not apply to any of the following motor vehicles, and then it talks about motor vehicle bearing commercial license plates or government service license plates that are used for law enforcement purposes for those windows rearward of the front doors. And then it goes on to state, just in case that wasn't clear enough, that this subsection shall not be construed in any way to exempt the front door windows or of any motor vehicle of any kind from the specifications of subdivision A1A, which is the 35% tint restriction. So, lawmakers need to change the law, or police departments around the state need to abide by the law. I mean, they're bound by the law too. It's pretty clear. This is not an anti-LEO screed at all. 76-year-old Tennessee farmer is facing the possible seizure of his land after the IRS charged him interest on a $20,000 tax refund the agency sent him by mistake. It's my understanding Senator Bill Hagerty's now on top of this. William Perry Kirby says the erroneous payment arrived in 2022. He immediately tried to return the money, hired an accountant to resolve the error, never spent $1 of it. Instead of closing the case, the IRS assessed interest against him, withheld his 2025 refund, and has now sent notices demanding thousands of dollars with threats of property seizure if he does not pay. Mr. Kirby has reached out to elected officials at every level for help with little success. What I want you to do is to reach out to Mr. Kirby, Jackson. You and I need to find this fella and have him on the show. Now, it's my understanding Senator Bill Hagerty says he's on top of the story at this point, now that it's gotten some attention, and let's hope that they resolve it in an appropriate way. Nathaniel will be last up. Nathaniel, thank you for your call. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, Nathaniel. Thank you for calling in.
Well, appreciate you taking my call. Listen, regarding flock cameras, okay, I agree. I do not want to live in a police state, all right? I do not want to live in a police state. I can't make that any clearer to anybody, okay? But I also think that flock cameras are not an all-or-nothing proposition, and here's why. Last year, my father was murdered, okay? He was murdered, and flock cameras helped provide the information to build the case against the murderer. It caught this murderer and my dad together. It helped build the timeline, and I think that they have their place, okay? They have their place. Now, we can put provisions in any law that allows for flock cameras, that you know, hey, the information collected by these cameras can be used for certain things, not for other things. I don't think it's an all or nothing proposition, but if it wasn't for flock cameras, I would probably be in a different place today with the trial than I am right now.
Where if you don't mind my asking, and I'm so sorry to hear about this that happened to you and your family, where'd your father get killed?
This was up in Indiana.
Okay.
And they got pictures, and I'm going to tell you, the police detective, he told me, he said, you would be amazed at how crystal clear those cameras are and the detail they can pick up.
I bet.
And they got this guy with my dad leaving town, and then an hour later he comes back into town in my dad's truck without my dad. They put it all together, and those flock cameras were very integral in putting the case together.
Well, I mean, obviously, I would imagine you're in favor of those types of cameras because you have an intimate and personal experience with them. I'm so pressed on time. Nathaniel, if you're a regular listener to the show, because we're going to continue talking about these surveillance-style or flock-style cameras, I'd love it if you were able to reach out to me and just kind of fill in some of the details on your story. You know, this happened apparently on the roadways. I'd love to find out a little bit more about that, and I'd love for you to call back in and offer and share your opinion as we continue to talk about this. I appreciate your approach, too, because I do think that there are certain places and certain times for the type of surveillance that we're talking about, and there are other places and other times that I would disagree with it. But let God bless you and your family, and let's continue the conversation, okay?
All right, sounds good. But like I said, I don't want a police state, but there is a place.
I hear you. Thank you, Nathaniel. Sure, that's a premature caller ejection. Nathaniel, that's on me, but I've got to go. It's 54 after the hour on Super Talk. I just made a kissy face at Jackson, and he did not like it at all. He did not like it at all. I'll tell you what you'll like. If you just go over there to TimberlandCabinets.com, you'll like what you see. Beautiful, custom-made cabinets just for you, made right here in Middle Tennessee. Their core mission is to deliver quality cabinets at affordable prices, and they do. They deliver every single day. They're built right here in Columbia, Tennessee. They're delivered right here from Columbia, Tennessee to wherever you might be. Home builders know about them. Remodelers, dealers across the U.S. know about them, and it's time that you know too. They deliver high-quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry, and they specialize in doing so with beautiful hardwood finishes, solid wood, at below prices that you would expect. They beat the prices of the big boxes. They beat the quality, no question, of the big boxes, and you just need to see it to understand it. If you're thinking about replacing the cabinets in your home, if you're thinking about kitchen or bathroom, you need to think Timberland. Give them a call. Leave them a number, and they'll call you back. Jiffy Quick, Debbie or her team will do so. 931-499-7170. 931-499-7170 or TimberlandCabinets.com, TimberlandCabinets.com. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls, causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call reach USSTN.com and schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt, we appreciate you.